Yeah, yeah. He don't get welcome. You got good coach. You don't get harassed. What happened? How happened? He don't do. He got to do.
This program is underwritten in part by
VINGN is proud to be a part of this election coverage on WTJX. It's your time to make your voice heard on issues that are important to you. VINGN, connecting the VI to the world.
and viewers like you. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of WTJX, its board, staff, or underwriters.
Good evening, Virgin Islands. Welcome to Decision 2020, the Democratic primary election coverage. I'm your co-host, Neville James.
And I'm Dotson James, here filling in for election guru John Abramson. Speedy recovery, John. We would like to thank you for tuning in and being with us tonight on WTJX.
Democrats across the territory convened at polls on St. John, St. Thomas, and St. Croix to determine which 7 senators in each district will be on the November general election ballot.
So we want you to stay informed with us tonight as we provide you real-time results, analysis, and commentary from throughout the territory. We'll have Ms. Churchill Prentice, our correspondent in St. Thomas, St. John District, who will bring you information from that particular area. So let's get started with a brief history on the recent elections. What's this primary thing all about, Neville?
The primary election is really a nominating process. First of all, good night, Dotson. You know what I'm saying? I want to say this.
Good night, little brother.
I want to say, what's up, my brother?
All
You
right.
know what I'm saying? Good to be here tonight. And of course, I want to join you in letting John know that you're in our thoughts and everything's going to be okay. Of course, you know, the primary election is really a nominating process. The real election that counts takes place in November on the first Tuesday after the first Monday. This year, that'll be November the 3rd, 2020. And this particular non-gubernatorial cycle is really about the senators who will be representing the Democratic Party, because tonight is all Democrat, 7 from St. Thomas and St. John District, 7 from St. Croix.
Democratic primary. It's just a party issue tonight as far as getting everyone together. Now, the primary in and of itself was not always on a Saturday. The primary used to be a Tuesday, which was a holiday. And because of Hortense some 24 years ago, when I remember vividly as a Board of Election member when Mr. Bastian, who was the administrator at that time, and also Mr. Elroy Harrison stormed into the election office to inform the Board of Election non-starter. So since then, we had to move the election to a Saturday. And what happened after that? Because as a former senator, Neville, you should be able to give us some history as to why it began, why it stayed on a Saturday, and what became of it.
Well, you know, when we were talking earlier, historically here in the Virgin Islands, anything that's supposed to be temporary, there's a likelihood that it's going to be permanent. And of course, we got the residential neighborhood in Castleburg as living proof after Hurricane Hugo. But in 1996, like you said, Hurricane Hortense rolled through the territory. It wasn't a direct hit. A lot of rain for St. Croix.
Oh, it's plenty of rain. I remember that night.
A lot of rain, and as a result, they had to move the election 4 days down the road from Tuesday to Saturday. Now, the biggest concern at that time, and I think it's still a concern today, has to do with disenfranchising the Seventh-day Adventist members of the community who vote. But we've done some things subsequent to that that has made things easier for them if, in fact, they are disenfranchised or not able to make it to the polls or to the voting centers that they call it now.
Such as early voting.
Early voting. And of course, back then, they also had the ability to vote walk-in, absentee.
That's true.
What have you. But early voting has really changed the dynamic of actually coming in and casting your vote before election day.
So we sort of pacified the members of the 7-day community, but not necessarily, that issue has not exactly gone away, because it comes up just about every election. People still talk about it,
and rightfully so. We don't want to disenfranchise anybody. Of course, this year, voting on the mainland with a presidential election taking place in November, there's questions about suppressing voter suppression and all of that stuff. So we're going to see something really, really unprecedented as it relates to turnout in St. Croix because of COVID, and on the mainland because of a lot of the issues that have been taking place beginning in, I'd say, February, March, when COVID kicked in, and of course the unfortunate situation with Mr. George Floyd in Minneapolis.
Like you mentioned, COVID-19. We're here tonight doing something that's unprecedented. Also, we're bringing you election results. We're going to give you the results as far as who won, who lost, whatever. But our interviews are going to be a little bit different compared to what we had in the past. We're not going to be able to interview the candidates, whoever win, face to face, close enough. As you can see, Neville and I are doing a little bit of social distancing ourselves. So we got our hand sanitizer to make sure that we're doing all right, and we also have our mask.
That's right.
Okay, so I just want to let you know that we're prepared and we're hoping for the best tonight. We just want to make sure that we bring you the best possible coverage when it comes to election 2020, and we start here tonight with primary election 2020.
Correct, and of course, this is a non-gubernatorial cycle here in the Virgin Islands, so voter turnout is nowhere near what it typically is when there's a gubernatorial year like we had in 2018 and we will have in 2022. And of course, with early voting, that impacts election day numbers. And of course, we got our first set of numbers here from early voting because I've been fortunate to have on the radio show. And by the way, we are on television, we're on radio, we're on WTJX.org. And we're also on our Facebook page. So we have across the board coverage here tonight for this particular primary. But
what kind of concern you just mentioned something with regards to voter turnout and numbers. We're kind of concerned about those numbers tonight, and that could put a change in how we do have elections moving forward with respect to primary elections. But this is another discussion that maybe need to be had. Maybe not tonight, but it's going to come up again.
It will always come up because what we have is early voting, COVID, and basically you have a little bit of voter apathy. It could be a lot of it because of COVID-19. So we had 1,829 votes territory-wide for early voting, but we had a problem. Low. Let's not forget that for 11 days, early voting was not taking place in St. Thomas and St. John because of COVID-19.
Absolutely correct about that. So, when it comes to the numbers again, I also understand that the numbers of the turnout today was not as significant, or the usual numbers that we would have on a non-gubernatorial year, that the numbers are very low. So we're waiting for those numbers to come in so we can determine, because we have some 33,000 plus them. Anxiously waiting to see the number of voters that came out today to vote to determine if in fact the primary election is actually a useful tool any longer.
Well, the first thing you got to look at is will we get to 10%? We need to get to 3,300. We had 1,829 early voting territory-wide. Right. In St. Thomas, St. John, you had 847 in St. Thomas and 37 on St. John for a total of 884, and that does not include the 11 days. Matter of fact, that includes the 11 days that the office was not available for early voting. And on St. Croix, we had 945. So I think it's safe to say, had the early voting been available for the full 21 days in St. Thomas, St. John, they would have eclipsed the 945 of St. Croix.
Think would have gotten it.
Definitely, without a doubt. But look, COVID-19 is real, Datsun.
Right.
And to me, the public is. Let me change that. A large percentage of the public is genuinely concerned and adhering to policies, protocols, restrictions, and guidelines. We do have a percentage that, for some reason, aren't taking this as serious as they should. Having said that, this is an inalienable right, Datsun. The ability to vote only happens ever so often,
That's correct.
and we need to do whatever we can to make sure the public understands to take advantage of this particular right, not a privilege, a right, whenever the opportunity presents itself.
And that's why people would like to come out and vote. People want to come out without masks. Now let's go back to the issue of masks, though, before we do anything, because that has created quite a stir within the, not only locally but nationally. Well, we do have some folks here who insist on not wearing masks. Now, we had some early numbers up to just before July. Our numbers were very small with respect to COVID.
Oh, you're talking about the COVID positives in the
positive,
territory?
yeah.
Yeah. We were
And
less
all
than
of a sudden-
100, than 100 by before July 1.
Yeah, and we're now up to
406
406.
numbers quadrupled in 30
Now,
days.
I'm wondering, because of that number also, were people afraid, or because of the numbers, escalating, were people afraid to come out to vote today? And were they afraid to come out to vote for early voting also?
I would say yes. We don't know what percentage because we would be speculating, but I do want to say that I early voted for the first time ever. Did that 9 days ago, and I came here. If it's sweet, and I came here 9 days ago, and they had all the protocols in place. They took my temperature, did the sanitizing thing after washing hands and all that stuff. Went in, vote smooth as ever, and the process was over within a matter of minutes. So I will encourage everybody to early vote if you have a belief that you're not going to be able to vote on the actual election day. And since we're global, we're telling everyone on the mainland as well, for those who live in other jurisdictions, if you can early vote so to not subject yourself to potential suppression or voting problems on election day itself.
Avoid the lines. If you don't need to, if you don't need to go through the lines because you're gonna have to be practicing social distancing, go ahead and do the early voting. Get it out the way, get it out early, and your vote is gonna be counted just as much if you vote the same day of the election. So it doesn't really matter. The Board of Election has done a tremendous job in setting up the election system the way they have set it up, with the new machines, with the voting protocols that you said they've put in place. So I have the utmost of confidence in the Board of Election.
And that's what I was going to ask you. We are fortunate to have you here on our broadcast here tonight as a former Board of Elections member, because what it affords us is you have a relationship with them. They've already approached us and they spoke to you, and they've stated how they're going to make the numbers available tonight.
In other words, they're not going to do precinct by precinct. They're going to give us one solid number as to who got the most votes or whatever. Then later on, as soon as the judges and the technicians come, the packages or however they do it now, they're going to be able to bring us one time. So it's going to be twice. You're going to hear from us twice with respect to numbers, early voting numbers, and actual voting day numbers. Just so that you're going to hear from us. Which for me makes a lot of sense, because there's been a lot of confusion over the years. When you start bringing in numbers piece by piece, and then people start adding up numbers and say, "But wait a minute, I thought you said somebody had 160 now, or so they have so
They have
they're gonna
less,
do,
yeah.
and they have less." So and then that's because they were doing, say, Elena Christian, and then all of a sudden they came up with probably Larson, or they came up with Florence Williams. So it makes a big difference. So the way they're doing it tonight is gonna make a difference. And
And speaking of that, I think it's important that we let the public know where voting actually took place today, right? So you got the list there. You go right ahead.
in the district of St. Croix, there were 2 polling places: the DC Candidato Recreational Center and the Educational Complex. And since what they did, they had from Ricardo Richards on down, from Ricardo Richards on up,
East.
then go to the DC Candidato, and everything else, and Kingston was down further extent at the Educational Complex. In St. Thomas, they had the Brother Seba Sholta was one of the polling places, and Charlotte Amali High School. And in
The shelter being out in the east,
In the
and
east and
Tamale,
in the west.
Tongue and West.
Thank you for that, Neville. Now, the smaller place was St. John, of course. We like to say small, but it's not small because they're just as significant as any polling place in the territory. The one place was Calabash Boom
Yeah,
and Julius Sprouse School.
you like to say that Calabash Boom,
Calabash Boom.
and the Calabash Boom is out Coral Bay, out in the east, and the Julius Sprouse School is in Cruz Bay, where when you take the ferry from Red Hook and you
Right.
get to the dock, you're there in Cruz Bay.
So I remember in the days when the primary election had all polling places open across
sir.
the district, from Christian said all the way down Frank said. I mean, every one of the polling places, and that created a problem because when I say created a problem, the turnout was not that great. Now that they're doing it the way they're doing it, you get the results faster. So to be quite honest with you folks, what's going to be happening in about another 10 to 15 minutes, maybe you're going to see the VIPD is going to be escorting the judges as they come in, and they're going to be coming at one time. In other words, DC County Gator will be coming in at once. Education Campus will be coming in at the same time. Calabash Boom. Of course, the difference between St. John is, of course, they have to take a ferry from St. John over to St. Thomas. So that might be a slight delay, but it should not be that long this evening. And in St. Thomas, again, Brother Sheba Sholta and the Charlotte Tamale High School will be coming at the same
and at
time.
any time, they could make available the early voting numbers right now.
Yeah, they could do that right now. As a matter of fact, that's what we're waiting on right now. And
Yeah.
I know Terrell Alexander, I know he's waiting to talk to us, and I'm hoping that he can give us some information with respect to the early numbers. Not the numbers itself as to what we want to report, but how soon we'll be getting them and what was the details surrounding early voting and how did it go? Because only the Board of Election Office can tell us exactly what's going on.
We need to take a real good look at that early voting, because that will give us some directive, a direction as to the sentiment of the
So
voting
who's gonna-
population,
who's
who they're
gonna win?
voting for.
Yeah,
Because
gonna win?
to me, early voting is just you're not waiting until election day.
No, you can't wait to
You
cast. Let's
you,
cast it.
you're doing in July what you did, what you were going to do on August 1 anyway.
It don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
And
So,
you're not going to really change your mind. And, between the early voting and the actual voting, you're not going to change your mind. I don't think there's much that can. When people,
turn on your mic. See if is your mic on there? Because
my mic is on.
check in the back, because I could hear you perfectly, but we're already getting text messages about your mic. So I think we need to check and see if that mic.
Well, you go ahead,
because I could hear you.
And I could hear myself pretty good. I'm sorry,
Okay.
folks, if you're not hearing me, but
Okay, they said they're going to take care of that.
all right, well, that's good. We want to talk about the candidates, but we're not going to get into that right now because the candidates are very important. We have we had 9 people running for the district in St. Croix,
9 on St. Croix,
9 on
correct.
St. Croix, and 11 on St. Thomas.
Yeah.
But there were some very hot races with respect to the National Committee woman and all that kind of stuff too.
I had on Ronnie Russell. We previewed today's election day and analyzed this. And for those of you who don't know, analyze this 8 to 10 weekdays, 93.1 FM WTJX. And Ronnie referred to the National Committee woman race, in which we have Carol Burke, former senator, and current National Committee woman, and Donna Christensen, our delegate for 18 years.
Former delegate to Congress.
He referred to it. He said, Neville, that is going to be a humdinger.
It is. But he's correct.
He's correct.
I think in addition to how important the senatorial race is, what people are waiting for, there are people waiting to see the results of that particular race.
And we got a only union race for state chair with
Cecil
the current state chair of Cecil Benjamin and St. Croix and Glenn Smith and St. Thomas. And then we don't have a district chair race on St. Croix.
On
Renee
St. Croix.
Peterson,
Right.
she already gone through to lead the district. But on St. Thomas, we got current district chair Edgar Baker Phillips and Mr. Randolph Bennett, who was the Property and Procurement Commissioner in the MAP part administration for a little bit.
For a little bit. Which one of yourself? That race also is a Danny Brook.
It's a Danny Brook, and there was some controversy because Mr. Bennett filed a complaint. He claimed he wanted to know why Mr. Baker Phillips was cleaning ballot boxes. So at some point we're gonna get some answers. But I spoke to Supervisor Fox, and she let me know, look, that's a Democratic Party issue. They will work that one out, and she's 100% correct.
She's 100% right, but what happens is that it might be a Democratic Party issue, but it is occurring in the election system of Virgin Islands. So there has to be a concern, a popular concern. a concern by the people.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
and,
it's a big
because
concern.
we don't want any idea of impropriety
No.
taking place whatsoever.
What is pretty disappointing in the rest of the ballot, however, is the lack of interest in the territorial committee at large, and the territorial committee and those particular races. You know, hardly anyone's showing up. Democratic Party has a lot of work to do, to be quite honest with you, to get the confidence of the community back up and running. Here we go.
I get it.
Here comes the judges right now.
We see
Here
the
comes
judges. Look like they might be coming from the east, or
coming from the east.
or they may have come from the west and come up the highway and come around. We don't know. Right?
Three police cars, one behind each other.
Yes. So the ballots, the voting information from the, and by the way, Supervisor Fox has let it be known that we don't have polling places. We have voting centers.
Voting centers, just so we forward another place.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
forward out of place, correct.
Okay.
But I believe voting centers is appropriate because you have multiple precincts at the different locations. So I think the center, the word center to me is because it's a central location.
Okay. Well, Neville, since we got people showing up here, let's get to something here that we have not been unable to get to, and let's go to the list of who's running actually for these particular races in the St. Croix district. The first candidate number one is incumbent Kurt Viale. He was number one in the in today's primary. The number two is Javan James. 3 is Allison Degazan, another incumbent. Number 4 is Troy Williams. Candidate number 5 was Kenneth Giddens. Candidate number 6 is Genevieve Whitaker.
And what we're seeing here on the
and what we're seeing, right, is the incumbents.
Incumbent senators,
right,
yeah.
is the incumbent
6
senators.
incumbent senators from St. Croix.
Right. So what we're saying, okay, we're showing Oakland Benta. We show Allison Degazan. Okay, they took it off. But let's go ahead because we have number 7, which is Novel Francis. And Andrew John is number 8. And again, Oakland Benta is number 9. So Neville, you want to go to the St. Thomas candidates for me, please?
Definitely. We have 11 candidates in St. Thomas, 4 of which are incumbents. Starting with number 1, Neil Bobby Thomas. Number 2, Gene Ford. And of course, on the screen, you're seeing the 4 incumbents. Number 3, Milton Potter. Number 4, Senator Donna Fred Gregory. Number 5, Jonathan P. Tucker Jr. Number 6, Carla Joseph. Number 7, Marvin Blyden. Number 8, former Senator. Of course, Marvin Blyden is an incumbent senator. Number 8, former Senator Patrick Simeon Sproul. Number 9, Senator Stedman Haas Jr. Number 10, Shirley Sadler. And number 11, Lawrence Larry Basholta. He's number 11. So those are the 6.
And here are the challenges. Well,
if you could put the challengers back up on the screen,
yeah,
we'd appreciate that because we want to make sure everybody.
We want to get everybody equal opportunity, a chance to show what's going on. You know, we want to move that fast.
We have the police rolling in here with the cartridges and making sure everything is protected. Can we get the challengers up on the screen there again? The St. Thomas challengers. There should be 7 of them.
And then also the St. Croix challenges.
And the St. Croix challenges as well. Having said that, like you said, the non-senatorial races and the other races, there we go.
There we go.
We have the St. Thomas, the St. Thomas St. John senatorial challengers.
Who are Lawrence Basholta, Gene Ford, who was a former senator, Carla Joseph, Milton Potter, who served in the Matt Potter administration, Shirley Sadler, Patrick Simeon Sproul, who was also a former senator, and Jonathan P. Tucker Jr. Those are the challenges. Remember now, they were there. Remember Senator Myron Jackson dropped out of the race, not dropped out of the race, but decided not to seek re-election in the 2020 election. So,
and we also had one on St. Croix as well. Alicia Bonds, the leading vote getter in the 2018 primary and general election, chose not to seek re-election here in 2020. But you spoke about the other race, the district races for at large, for the committee, territorial committee, all of those races for the most part are undersubscribed.
Exactly, but let's get to one area of first off, which is the Board of Education in the district of St. Croix, which is Imani Heath, number 1, candidate number 1, Imani Heath. Candidate number 2 is Emanuela Perez. Candidate number 3 is Shauna K. Richards. Shauna K. Richards. Those are the 3 that's running for the Board of Education, which Neville is a very important race.
And 2 of 3 will be successful.
Will be successful.
Correct.
So that's going to be a good race. And the state chair, again, we mentioned the candidate number 1 was Cecil R. Benjamin. or Cecil R. Benjamin, like he likes to pronounce it.
Yeah.
And candidate number 2 is Glenn L. Smith. In the National Committee Women's Race, candidate number 1, Carol M. Burke. Candidate number 2, Donna M. Christensen, former delegate to Congress. And Carol Burke, by the way, is the current National Committee woman. And in the Territorial Committee at large, we're going to mention this, probably only mention the ones tonight. Candidate number 1 is Reese Richards. Candidate number 2, Nemi Williams Jackson. Candidate number 3, Kevin A. Rodriguez. Candidate number 4 is Rudolph Anthony Green. And candidate number 5 is Barbara A. Peterson.
Good.
And in St. Thomas, there is a race with respect to district chair.
Yeah, the district chair race is to me, it could be very, very important, Dotson, because there's a likelihood, at least right now, of course, we can't take anything for granted, but the Democratic, presumptive Democratic nominee for president is looking good right now. Of course, nothing is guaranteed. It's still early. It's still in August.
A lot can happen between now and November, that's for sure.
And given what we're dealing with here in the territory with the recovery from the hurricanes, COVID-19, what is going to be significant financial impact in 2021, we would benefit from having a Democratic president here, even in the Virginia. Even though we got to put on the record, the Trump administration after the hurricanes, they did, along with the Congress, did step up and provide that $8 billion in recovery relief for the territory of the Virgin Islands.
Yes, we got a lot of money, and that's money that's going to be
people
well
are texting
spent
us and yeah, keep sending the text, but we want to make sure if we could get the numbers, the early voting numbers as soon as possible, because maybe it's available on the website already. So find out if we can find out inside if we got the early voting numbers.
I'm
really
sure we got the early
that.
voting numbers from Mr. Terrell Alexander. We were supposed to be hearing from Mr. Alexander with regards to early voting, because he's been on standby waiting. I don't know exactly what's going on.
And he's on standby, right?
He's on standby right there.
Yeah, so we hopefully
are we gonna be able to hear from Mr. Alexander? Okay, we
just got word there. So basically,
we need to hear from Shersill, though. I mean, we haven't heard from Shersill.
Yeah. At some point, we gotta get to Shersill.
Yeah, we need to know what's going on in St. Thomas.
But we just want the public to know, as it relates to the senatorial races in St. Thomas, St. John, there are 11 candidates vying for the 7 seats in St. Thomas, St. John, of which 4 are incumbents and 7 are challengers. On St. Croix, there are 9 candidates seeking the 7 seats, the 7 slots on this Democratic slate for the Democratic Party to the general election. 6 of those 9 are incumbents and 3 challengers.
Right. And to be quite honest with you, who was ever successful tonight, who's ever successful in November, have to understand that we've got some difficult days ahead. And I stress that because, if we're paying attention to the national news, you see that there's a serious depression that's on its way. We don't get it right away at the same time. We get it later on, but we need to be prepared for what's going on, because there's some very difficult times with respect to COVID-19. And COVID-19, once again, folks, there's really no end in sight. They're working on vaccines, but we don't know if how well the vaccine is going to work and what's going to happen, how long it's going to take for us to get back. We will never have the normal that we're accustomed to have. There's going to be a new normal. To be quite honest with you, I mean, I'm not trying to, have been on a soapbox, but this issue of mask wearing may very well carry on into the next 2-3 years. This is not something that people are going to determine. Well, we got vaccine outside, taking out the mask. Folks, I ain't taking off my mask. I can tell you right now.
And the reason for that, Dr. James, is because of the asymptomatic dynamic with this COVID-19.
Right.
In other words, you ain't feeling no symptoms and you could test positive. And the extreme, you have people who are feeling symptoms and they are in the critical care units in hospitals. So that in and of itself will give people the impression, look, we can't trust anything.
Right, exactly.
I'm gonna keep wearing my mask, and you can't hold it against. I don't think anybody's gonna hold it against you going forward. I really don't. I won't hold it against anybody because I gonna wear my mask whenever I feel like it.
Well, there's some Karens out there, that
Karen, yeah,
that wants to challenge, and people wants to talk about their constitutional rights. I understand your constitutional rights. You got the right to do what you want to do, no. But don't bring that to me, because I don't feel the same way. And as far as the vaccine is concerned, I'll be one of the first person in line to get a vaccine. Trust me on that.
Me too. I talk to a lot of people who say, me taking a vaccine, and I tell them, look, I can't afford to play that game. You know what I'm saying? We're asking the president to listen to his to the experts,
To the
the
experts,
scientists. The scientists are working on the vaccine. No, you're saying you didn't want to take the vaccine. We can't win.
No, and unfortunately,
You can't have it both ways.
yeah, and because of well, not because we don't know. They're still trying to figure out COVID-19, but we have lost a number of people. Well, of course, it's 150,000 plus people have already lost their lives, and they've lost a number of folks who are influential and who could have made a difference, who chose not to wear the mask, and now they're no longer with us. I don't want to call any names, but
I think
that's unfortunate.
we have a package with the candidates making some comments.
That'll be nice.
Yeah, so I think if we could get that queued up with some of the candidates making their comments, we could queue that up right now. And by the way, it's the top of the hour. Oh,
as it pertains to how the administration is proceeding with COVID-19, I think no one can ever prepare for an epidemic or a crisis of this magnitude. I think it's very, very fluid and things are changing. There's certain things of us who are sitting in the peanut gallery who say, no, the administration should do this differently. But at times, they're trying their best to get things done. All our leaders, I think, are trying their best.
As it pertains to the administration, personally, I believe they have done what they could with the resources that they had available. They were able to get the CARES Act funding, and they put it into place immediately. We knew how many ventilators were here. We knew the type of capacity. We built out the National Guard. So I think for our size, our populace, we were pretty ready.
I think it was a bad effort on their behalf. And I really feel like they more were looking into dealing with the tourists and the people the other corporate people outside the government.
I honestly believe if you're visiting, you're not visiting, and you don't want to wear your mask, you need to be fine.
Give the governor and his administration excellent marks. The people has been responsive. The people have been responsible. But on the second go around, when we started to see the rise and the climb, somehow, somewhere, the checks that should have been in place were absolutely not there. But we can mitigate that, and we can learn from our mistakes.
Okay, good.
You gotta be quick. You gotta
be quick. Yeah. and I noticed in that particular segment, they actually had a non-Democratic candidate, Clint Ferris.
The first one up.
It was the first one, right?
Yeah,
and then we heard from Senator Alison Digazan, and I believe that was Jennifer Whitaker. It was a Whitaker camp, right?
From Whitaker camp.
Whitaker camp, right? And then we just heard from Cara Burke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were talking about the impact of the COVID and all that stuff.
Interesting enough, there's different opposite ends of the spectrum with regards to how the administration has handled COVID-19. And I don't think anybody, well, I mean, it might be my opinion. It's very difficult to be put in a position to handle this pandemic when you had no idea what you've been working on. It's not something that, that you can say that you can put time certain on it, or it's going to begin today and it's going to end in another couple of days. Simply put, you don't know whether you're gonna, whether they're gonna live or whether you're gonna die. It happens different with everyone. Some people go in, like you said, some people are asymptomatic; they go through without any problem. There are people that go through issues with respect to ventilators. Some may live, and some may not, and that's the issue we're going on. So, you have to commend. I'm not necessarily saying you have to commend this administration alone for what they've done, but other areas have done. We also have to be a little disappointed in the fact that some areas across America opened up too soon when they didn't follow the guidelines of the CDC and Dr. Fauci and all those other people. And, had we done that, how is it we can be in a position as Americans to be so far behind everybody else that started out before us? Now they're okay and we're not.
No, this pandemic has exposed America's healthcare deficiencies, without a doubt. I mean, I'm 100% pro America, but we got to call a spade compared to what
deficiencies and the fact that some people just don't listen.
They don't. But then you're talking about what could be a literacy problem, and in some instances, discipline. Some people are literate and very intelligent, but they just made up their mind. I don't want you're imposing on my constitutional right. I ain't wearing no mask and marching on Capitol buildings and all that stuff. That's crazy.
With gun.
Yeah. I mean, so that's what we're dealing with. But the reality is, locally, We had our first case on Friday, March the 13th. Friday the 13th. That's the illness
Imagine
of
that,
them.
huh? Yeah.
By March 30th, we were up in the I'd say the 40s, and then we had an excellent month of April, May, and then a good month of June.
Where we stayed at the number was 69 for about 4 weeks.
Yeah, basically we shut down. That's because we shut down the territory. We
Shut
had
it
to
down,
stay
yeah.
at home,
Yeah.
safe at home, and all that. Those different phases. Once we reopen, because remember now the government is in the business of balancing, protecting the local residents, and encouraging people to come in to spend money. And we had the problem that was pretty much epicentered around Lime Tree Bay
Lime Tree Bay, yeah.
on the early part of July, and the next thing you know, our numbers have skyrocketed. As a matter of fact, yesterday, that's in on St. Thomas, we had 12 positives, and St. Croix we had one. So something is going on as well. And before that ratio was flipped, there was a time when we had 22, and St. Thomas would have 3, would have none. So
But I want to commend the place, because I usually leave my home twice a month. Okay, seriously, I usually leave my home twice a month. If I'm gonna wait, as a matter of fact, they're lucky to get me out tonight to do this program, but I know how important this program is tonight for as far as the voters are concerned. I appreciate. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for thanking me.
Yeah.
But I want to commend the citizens of this territory for listening.
Yeah, man.
For whether you wear the surgical mask, the N95, N99, or you just wear a bandana, I see people just wearing these things that they're supposed to, because they're trying to protect not only themselves, they're trying to protect people around them. So I want to commend our people.
No, I see it. Whenever I go to the gas station, and somebody comes out to their car and they realize, I don't have on my mask. They double back to the car and put on the mask.
Man, you know me times I almost break my ankle trying to get back to the car.
Exactly, because we all do it, including myself.
Yeah.
And one of the post office, and I went to the post office, and you see that spacing. And we have a post office right across from our studios in Christensen. I frequent that post office pretty regularly.
Right.
And I saw the spacing and the adhering to the guidelines and the protocol. So that was good. Of course, we had that problem earlier in July, and things took off from there. We were at 84, and next thing you know, we were in the 200s and then the 300s, and the main thing is
it just skyrocketed. It just
but if you look at the New York Times today, the 8 jurisdictions that are decreasing the most, the Virgin Islands is one of them. So it showed, but at one time we were number 1.
Yeah, boy, yeah.
But that was because our numbers were low. You know what I'm saying? So we got the number.
Whenever we got a up and coming election genius and a guy by the name of Terrell Alexander. He's on standby to give us some information. Good evening, Terrell. How you doing tonight?
Both gentlemen, how are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on. How has the numbers been today, and what do you expect out today's election?
The last numbers I got was the 6 p.m. numbers. At 6 p.m. we had 674 electors cast their ballot in the St. Croix district, and in the St. Thomas St. John district we had 1,010 voters cast their ballot at 6 p.m. I know thus far we have one judge who came into the St. Croix office thus far, and we are waiting the next judge. Like you guys mentioned earlier, we utilize our voting center, so we only have 2 judges coming into the office, which will allow the results to come in earlier. I know they did read the information, the drives for early voting in both districts, and just waiting to compile those results, and that should be made available shortly. But overall, we had a very good election day. The turnout was low. I do believe we're going to get that 10% based on the numbers. So we're probably going to be a little between 10 to 15% with based on
the actual voting numbers for today. What are they looking like? So we could add that to the 1,829 that voted in early voting.
Like I said, at the 6 p.m. count for St. Croix was 674, and St. Thomas St. John was 1,010. I tried to get the 7 p.m. count. The one judge is here, so we should get that shortly, and we're waiting the next judge to come in to get to update it to the 7 p.m. So that would bring us up to that will run the 1,000. That would be 2,889 plus the 674 would give us roughly about 3,000 voters. Plus, we also have absentee. Absentee will play a key role, especially with these type of elections where the numbers are small. The last numbers I had for St. Croix was probably roughly 180 absentee, and for the St. Thomas and John district, we had a total of 409 absentee ballots, which also would impact the election results. The Board of Election has scheduled to begin counting these results on Monday, August 3rd at 2 p.m. So the results will be updated then again. But hopefully shortly we'll be able to provide you with the early voting numbers. So just ask for your patience in that regards.
Well, don't worry about that, Terrell. We have patience. You know, we're in good company here with you and your staff. You've been very helpful to us. All the
Thank you very
information
much.
so far you've given us. I want to also commend you and doing a tremendous job. You've come a long way. You started off as a young little fella, and now you're a seasoned veteran.
Thank you very much. Before if I can have the opportunity on behalf of the election system, we send our regards to our Farmer Supervisor John Abramson. He basically is the one of somebody we could rely on when we need some information. We stump in some places. I also have to thank the election staff. They've been very good. They assist me in any way possible. The board members as well, and the election officials who go out to vote, and most importantly, the voters who came out to cast the vote. Some voters are a little in doubt because of the COVID-19, but we implemented some steps that we believe that assisted us with not having not one COVID case linked to the election system thus far, and we're hoping that it remains that way based on lessons learned in other jurisdictions. So we're grateful for everything that's been happening in this past year. And we're going to learn for whatever mistakes that we had that happened during the 2020 primary. We're going to ensure that it doesn't happen in the 2020 general election. So we're excited about the 2020 general election. So hopefully, like I said, we can provide some results shortly.
Well, that's good to hear because Terrell, as you know, the primary election has always been like the prep for the general election. So this gives you an opportunity. Now, just for the listening audience, there are some folks who are trying to vote today, I'm sure, but found out that they weren't able to because they were canceled or they just weren't registered. When will registration open back again?
That's a very good question. Registration open back on August 6th, which is Wednesday. Second, no. I think Wednesday or Thursday open back.
Wednesday.
Thursday, yeah. Thursday open back up in both districts. Electors are, if you're not registered, you are encouraged to take up the to come in to register to vote. Registration also it will close on October 3rd for the general election because it closed 30 days before any election. So you may believe that you have a lot of time, but the time will swipe by soon because right now today's a primary election. And in 24 days, we're preparing for casting of lots. So there is a break, so there's a fast turnaround to get the general election rolling.
And the only thing that would delay the casting of lots in any jurisdiction is if there's a close race between the number 6 and number 7 candidate, and where you have to wait for all the absentee ballots to come in so you can count those and make a final determination. Correct.
And the number 6, 7, and 8, though, let's not because the eight number seat could have a play. And also, the absentee, so the listening audience can know, the absentee ballot has 10 days to get here. You're requested to vote on that ballot by the election day, which will be today. So you have to put it in the mail. So as of right now, the post office is closed, but the post office have the different drop boxes. So you could drop it in the mail and we'll get it within the 10-day limit. We hope that everybody had a good voting experience. If they have any feedback or anything that could help us improve our process, we do encourage you to reach out to our office to let us know. Our office number is St. Croix is 773-1021 and St. Thomas is 774-3107.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alexander.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll talk to you, but don't worry, we'll talk to you again before the night's out.
Okay.
Okay, good. We're gonna break down the numbers here. So based on the information that Ms. Alexander gave us, we had 1,010 up to 6 o'clock in St. Thomas, St. John.
1,010, correct.
And 674
in St. Croix.
On St. Croix.
Right.
And we add those to the early numbers. Up through 6 o'clock on St. Thomas, St. John, we had a total of 1,894. And on St. Croix, we had a total of 1,619 for a total of 3,513. So they got past the 10%.
Made it so that
Still a sad commentary for a big,
it is a
big
sad
party, though.
commentary. So I was going to ask you so that justify the primary being conducted by the election system, or which brings us to another conversation.
Mhm.
Should the primary be done by parties? I know as a farmer said you may have a problem with that.
No.
but-
I respect everybody's position because there is a legitimate argument for parties handling their own business, like the Republican Party did when they conducted their caucus 2 weeks ago
Right.
on July 18th. Having said that, when that was the norm, you had people who were complaining that party primaries and caucuses and conventions, that's the term they use,
Mhm.
was rigged. So, let's make it a true public primary. So you have an argument on both sides. For me, one of the reasons why I like the primary being done this way is because it gives the Board of Elections
Control.
not only control, a dry run going into the general elections.
True. No,
You
the
know.
question is, should the government fund it or should the parties fund it? Now, the board election can conduct the primaries for the parties,
Yeah.
but who should fund it?
Well, that's a legitimate question. But
That's
from-
my
from-
face.
No, because I believe that there's an argument on both sides. I could make I could give you a political answer. I like the fact that the government funds it. The Board of Elections is responsible for conducting it and making sure that the argument as it relates to smoke-filled rooms, controlling parties, and leaving out the little man like they like to say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In that regard,
Well,
I cannot reject the argument. Well, if it's your party, then I need to pay for it. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? But for me personally, I like when the government has a say in it.
I don't have a problem with the government running it and doing what they need to do. I just got a
Let
problem with
party
who's
pay for
funding
it.
Yeah, I got a problem with that. Let's
Well, as
you know
a,
why? Because I think as a party, the party should have to be in a position to raise its own funds. Whether you hold in fish, right? Whether you hold in big sale, whether you hold in juice. Like, listen, I got fly killing me in this place here.
yeah. He want by me first, and then we got by you.
Okay, so but what I'm saying is that I think the party needs to fight. I don't think the party needs to come together and do what they need to do and start working hard just before the primary. You should be working hard all year.
No, I agree.
Okay.
But I could even embellish your argument. We look at the numbers from registration. The ICM party, 1,300 plus. The Republican Party, 1,900 plus. The No Party, 15,000 plus.
Right.
The Democratic Party, 33,000 plus. Just under twice as much as everybody who are not a Democrat. So from a monetary standpoint, the Democratic Party, given these numbers, shouldn't have any money, shouldn't have any problem raising money to
Correct.
conduct the primary. So
Okay.
I could justify your argument.
I'm saying it as a former district chairman for the Democratic Party, St. Croix. I'm saying that. So I'm a staunch Democrat. So I'm not doing anything or saying anything against the party. I'm just saying we should do a better job, because in that way we give the public a right to have a say in what's going on, so that they can stop this thing, like as if saying, "Oh, the Democrats don't do this," and that's a bad statement people make.
No,
but everybody has a right to say.
No,
what
no,
they
no.
want to say.
I respect your
You know?
position, and there are a lot of people who support your position. The reality is, the one thing that we all want is a fair and transparent process,
Right.
regardless of how it is funded, conducted, what have you. As long as it's fair, then we're good.
And I also think that the party officers should not solely be responsible for the building of the party. I also feel that the individuals who run under the party banner, the senators and the delegate to Congress and the governor, lieutenant governor, should have a say in building the party and building its membership. And don't leave it up to the party officers, because, to be quite honest with you, at the end of the election come November, that's the end of the party officials.
But
And I
I'm
can go.
gonna call you this, big brother. Based on these numbers, there are two parties in the Virgin Islands: the Democratic Party and the non-Democratic
And the
Party.
independent, and no party.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, because the ICM party, which was so strong back in 1974 to elect a governor and a lieutenant governor in Cyril E. King and Wang
Wang
Louis.
Louis.
And they were pretty much in their infancy as a party at that particular time.
Right.
And look at them now with 13 plus 100. And the Republican Party, we've had a Republican governor in Melvin Evans. He was
Right.
the first elected governor, was a Republican.
Right.
Roy Schneider at one point was a Republican.
Right.
Kenneth Mapp at one point was a Republican. And their numbers are at 1,900.
That's a shame.
Those two parties are the reason why the Democratic Party is complacent. Because the Democratic Party numerically has no competition.
Right. Right.
Okay. We're hearing that we have numbers. We're waiting for them to be made available to us.
But that's from
And,
St. Thomas.
That's St. Thomas.
That's
though.
St. Thomas
But
numbers.
we would
yeah,
like to
yeah.
know about the early voting numbers for both St. Thomas and St. Croix, if possible. We were told that those will be made available, and I think some of the infrastructure, some of the data coming in now. You're gonna hear the trucks,
Well,
right?
not yet. The machines are
That's
the
the
machines
machine.
are the machines are
Okay,
coming back.
The
yeah.
cartridges are already here.
Cartridges have already been here for about the last 50 minutes. The Board of Election right now is working on the compiling the information so they can give us, again, like we said, they're going to be giving us one. Didn't hear that. One for the early voting and two for the number of votes.
People there.
Yeah.
By the way, we know right now our truck is here bringing numbers. We're gonna get that information.
No, he making noise. I mean,
he
as a
making
matter of
noise,
fact,
he making noise, yeah.
we can't hear ourselves. No, we don't have.
Speak to. Okay. We have Ms. Shershel Prentice on St. Thomas to give us an update from the election system office in St. Thomas. Good evening, Shershel. How are you? We're gonna come back to her. Okay, yeah. Right now we're working on some technical difficulties with Ms. Prentice in St. Thomas, and we'll get back to her as soon as possible. We already got some early numbers here right now. We gotta get this back. However, this was we gotta get that one back, and we lost the page. But we do have early numbers. I'm assuming that's early voting.
That's early voting numbers that we've got so
for
far.
St.
but
Thomas, right?
Of course, the phone in hours.
So you go ahead there. Let me click on this because we have access to information here for early voting, election results, 2020.
You should be picking up in vivote.gov, right?
Yeah, I'm on vivote.gov. Okay, unofficial results. Hopefully we could make this work. Okay, early. Okay, I got it. I got the early voting territory. So on St. Thomas, we'll start with St. Thomas, the district race.
All right.
Athniel Bobby Thomas, 428.
Number one, right?
Senator Athniel Bobby Thomas, 428. Former Senator Jean A. Ford, 246. Milton E. Potter, 367. Donna Fred Gregory, 519. Jonathan P. Tucker, 291. Carla Joseph, 373. Marvin Blyden, 361. Patrick Simeon Sproul, 220. Stedman Hodge Jr., 412. Shirley M. Sadler, 198. Lawrence Larry Basholta, 256. Right in, 35. On St. Croix, Kurt Vialet, 612. Javon E. James, 419. Allison L. DeGazan, 453. Troy Williams, 221. Kenneth L. Gittins, 435. Genevieve Whitaker, 403. Novell Francis, 574. Andrew John, 63. And Oakland Benta, 440. So numerically, right, we'll start from on the St. Thomas side. Leading vote getter would be Donna Fred Gregory at 519. Number 2 would be Athniel Bami Thomas at 428. Number 3, Stedman Hodge at 412. Number 4, Carla Joseph at 373. Milton E. Potter, number 5 at 367. 6, Marvin Blyden at 361. 7, Jonathan P. Tucker, 291. 8, Larry Bushalter, 256. 9th, Gene Ford, 246. 10th, Patrick Simeon Sproul at 220. And 11th, Shirley M. Sadler at 198. On St. Croix, Senator Kurt Violet, 612. Number 2 would be Novel E. Francis Jr. at 574. Number 3, Allison Degazan at 453. Number 4, Oakland Benta at 440. Number 5, Kenneth L. Gittins at 435. Number 6, Javon James at 419. Number 7, Genevieve Whitaker at 403. Number 8, Troy Williams at 221. And number 9, Andrew John at 63. As it relates to the Board of Education, we have going down on the ballot, Imani Heath at 184, Emanuela Perez at 313, and Shauna K. Richards at 472. I think we could actually call that one now for Ms. Perez and Ms.
Richards is how much?
Shauna K. Richards,
Shauna.
472.
472.
And that's for 2. The top 2 will come out of that. I think we
Right.
could call that one with Ms. Perez and Ms. Richards.
You come like CNN, you want to call it?
We could call that one now. Call that one now.
All right, buddy.
And Board of Education, St. Thomas, St. John, there are 4 candidates vying for 2 seats going down on the ballot. Judith W. Edwin, 163. Nandi C. Koo, 353. Kaiser A. Carlwood at 384. Era C. Lockhart at 321. So there are 3 actually that are really competitive. That would be Kaiser Carlwood with 384, Nandi Siku at 353, and Era C. Lockhart at 321.
So based on what you were saying earlier, due to the early voting, it basically gives you an idea of how people are probably going to vote today.
Correct.
So as soon as those numbers come out, remember again, folks, these are the early voting. These are not final voting numbers yet. The final voting numbers will be coming up shortly.
Well, not only that, when you look at this, if we had 945 votes, early votes on St. Croix and Kurt Violet at 612 and Novel E. Francis at 574, they are over 50%.
Right.
You check what I'm saying?
Votes, yes.
And then the rest are under 50%. On St. Thomas, we got pretty much a repeat of what took place in 2018 with Donna Fred Gregory and Bobby Thomas leading the charge, but we have Stedman Hodge moving up.
Carla Joseph, a newcomer.
Carla Joseph as well. She's in 4th place right now, right?
Right, she's in 4th
And then
place
Milton
right now.
Potter. And then Blyden, who typically runs high, he's in, as we speak right now, he's in 6th place, right?
But he doesn't do that time, you know.
Yeah, I remember the first time he ran in the first year that he won in 2014. He finished 7th in the primary.
Okay.
I finished 1st in the general
Finish
election.
first. He doesn't do
Y-
that.
y-
So you can't do that.
yes.
I know we have Shercel in St. Thomas who wants to give us some information. Are we ready for Shercel yet? Shercel Prentice?
Are we ready to hear from Shercel? Ms. Prentice? Ms. Prentice?
Yes, good evening. As you were
Good evening.
saying,
Everything is okay with you over there in St. Thomas?
yeah, how are you guys doing?
We're doing good. You go right ahead now.
Yes, so as you guys were saying, we have the early voting numbers, and Donna Fred Gregory seems to be in the lead for the Democratic primary, coming up with Neil Bobby Thomas as our 2nd place. And these are only for the early voting, and we're hoping to see that the results come in for the election that took place today. There were lots of supporters out for their various candidates, and we're excited to see what the changes or similarities may be tonight.
And how was your day today? Were you able to get out in the public and see what was going on based on what you're saying? And how was the energy? Was it lively?
It seemed that the energy was pretty great the whole day. There was a lot of supporters. There were ages of all different various ages, from young and old, being really out there, really showing their support for their various candidates. So it was really great to see people being involved with the democratic voting process. And we know that early voting took place, and people really got out there to make sure that their voice was heard.
Thank you, Shosel. Thank you very much. We're gonna get back to you though, because we want you to do the final results for St. Thomas. We don't want to talk over here so much. We want to hear your voice, because we want people to see that pretty smile of yours also. So we'll be right back. We want to talk a little bit about, and maybe you want to banter with us, if anything, if they're gonna allow it.
Sure.
The issues, the issues of that they're gonna be working with. One of the top issues is Water and Power Authority, the GERS. Now we have individuals who are running again. We're hoping that they're not running just to become a senator, but they're running to actually work for the people. So what are your thoughts, Shosel, about, if there's anything else that you think that maybe that they should be working on, or are those two the top issues within the territory besides COVID-19?
Well, COVID-19 is we.
No,
Ms. Prentice, you have some information for us?
No, I just wanted to respond.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's my mistake. Go ahead.
Yes, I absolutely believe that those two issues of GERS as well as WAPA are two of the main issues that most of our.
I'm sorry, that was not.
Today, along with COVID-19, but also how those areas affect the economy and also economic opportunities for various members of our community, whether they be expats trying to come in and jumpstart businesses, or even local people who want to get an opportunity to share their ideas and really flourish their entrepreneurial spirit. So I do think that we do need to diversify our economy and find ways that are sustainable so that we are able to keep more of our younger people here. We're able to develop the various members so that people are able to explore whatever they think is important to them, but also make sure that we have a diversified way of representing what it means to be from the Virgin Islands.
Okay, well, the way things are going in America right now with this depression that's probably going to be upon them, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, are you as scared as what we're hearing? I know I am very concerned.
It is definitely a cause for concern. And that is also another reason why we need to be able to diversify our own economy so that we can bolster as much as we can, so that the trickle-down effects won't affect us as much. We are a part of the United States, so whatever happens on the mainland eventually makes its way here. But we also have our Caribbean neighbors that we can look to and partner with to make sure that we are much more stronger in the region, and we become a leader for the rest of the Caribbean to follow as well. But it's definitely something to be a cause of concern, especially with the over-reliance on tourism. It is not sustainable. We are unable to really be independent if our main source of income comes from tourism, and with a recession, people won't be traveling as much. So then that means that there are a lot more issues that we have to deal with. So definitely finding ways to partner with our regional Caribbean members, as well as other ways to make sure that we are a lot more sturdy and bolstered for the incoming recession.
Thank you so much. Neville?
No, I'm good. She was very comprehensive in her response.
Doesn't she sound like a candidate though?
To me. To me, it looks like 2022, somebody named could be on the ballot.
Sure, number one. Okay, we're gonna go to a WAPA package here that we've been working on a couple of things. So we want the community to be well informed as they get ready for the upcoming 2020, because a lot of the questions that you're going to be asking the candidates, even though you're not going to have an opportunity to be able to meet with them face to face, there's going to be a lot of Zoom and Teams and all kind of different Skype virtual
correct
things that we can use. So we want you guys to be ready. So we're going to shoot to a little package here we got with respect to WAPA, and we'll get right back to Neville. And so
I feel like WAPA is mistreating the residents of the territory, and we could absolutely do some research into some other options for our energy sources.
I think we should also be going green and start paying for fossil fuel.
They're breaking down the people because we don't have another resource where we could jump and say, listen, let we boycott WAPA, which is one of the main things we really need to do. Boycott WAPA so that some things can change.
I believe that the government or the legislature has not been doing what they're supposed to do with WAPA, and we're too monopolized. I think we should get competition in there, another electrical company.
Energy is essential to economy. It's essential to making sure that people can keep more monies into their pockets. It's vital to our community. What we can do, we need to say that short term, we should be bringing down our LEAC, the cost of energy to about 31 cents. Bring it down under what the average is for Hawaii. We can do that through several things.
I believe that there need to be changes in terms of senior management and how they believe that this is a crisis or not. I think that their process for answering and solving some of the problems are way too long. I think there needs to be drastic changes, not only in management, but in how we're effectuating change for the people of the Virgin Islands.
Having been in the arena, and I understand the public's frustration. We're watching it now, the Virgin Islands, who has our power authority.
Yeah,
right next door.
Yeah.
But that's in WAPA belongs to us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there is something about ownership of this entity that has value to me. Do we have a problem with management, with direction, and all that stuff? Perhaps. But until we sell it. I remember there was a move to sell it to Southern Energy or something.
Southern Energy many years
back
ago.
in the late 90s.
Yeah.
Or early 2000s, whatever it was.
When Governor Turnbull was in office.
Yeah, Turnbull, and I think Senate President, Lieutenant Governor Margaret Richards later on was actually the president at that time, the 23rd legislature. Until then, we got to just make it as efficient and as reliable as it can be and as affordable, because right now cost is what's affecting us, and the reason why you're hearing that frustration is because it affects cost of living, not just to pay for energy, but it affects everything else, and that's legitimate concerns that we're hearing there from the public.
But we have come up with propane. We've come up with different things that were supposed to drop the cost of energy, and obviously it hasn't. Folks, there are a number of folks who have always said we're surrounded by water. How come we're not using the ocean to be able to power our plants? And it also has a lot to do with what not has a lot to do. It also goes into like what's happening to waste management. We're struggling with that also, but we're struggling with that just as much as we're struggling with WAPA. But WAPA really and truly is a significant and serious problem, and it's going to take buckling down. Whether it's the legislature, the 34th legislature, but it also takes the community effort and input to be able to get things done, because we need to hold everyone who's in charge of making decisions responsible.
Well, I think relief is actually happening now, because remember, a significant amount of the relief of the recovery monies is about hardening the infrastructure.
Right.
So hopefully, that hardening will reduce costs, increase reliability and efficiency.
It should, but in the meantime, WAPA continued to ask for increases.
Well, the most recent was a minute decrease, decrease that took effect on July 1st.
And how long is that going to last before they look to jack it up?
Left to be seen, but I've been known to make a better tool. Chances are the next move might be an upward move, and we don't want that. we don't want that. Let's hope it goes down. So I'm looking over this, Dodson. There are a couple of things that we didn't mention the first go around. It looks like the National Committee woman race is one-sided.
Well, I haven't even taken a look at that.
Flip it over.
We had to turn the page.
Right up top.
Oh, it's in the back page.
The Cecil Benjamin Glenn Smith race is the Humdinger, because that's 5 votes separating them, 581 to 576.
In horse racing, call it nip and tuck.
Nip and tuck, yeah. so we're gonna need absentee ballots to settle that one.
Absentee ballots to settle one. However, the National Committee woman, that's a done deal.
Donna Christensen. You want to give the numbers?
Donna Christensen with 958. Carol Burke 484 with 10 write-ins. So Donna is basically that's 2 to 1.
Yeah, that one looks like it could be called early. I thought that one would be I thought it would be similar to the numbers for
Cecil and Glenn Smith.
For the state chair,
yeah. No, there's also kind of a close race between Randolph Bennett and Edgar Baker Phillips.
Yes, and actually a little bit of a surprise. Randolph Bennett is leading, He has 334 votes, and Edgar Baker Phillips has 298.
298, yeah.
So that could be. Are we looking at insurrection? Internally, where the inmates have decided we want a different, we want different leadership in St. Thomas.
Well, not only a different leadership in St. Thomas, do they want a different leadership period across the territory? Because it's like we were talking about. It's about building the party. Are people tired of seeing the same faces? Maybe.
But keep in mind, Randolph Bennett was a MAP Pata agency head, a cabinet member.
Right. But he's also a
now-
Democrat. But he may have been a MAP Pata agency head, but he was also unceremoniously removed
Correct.
from that particular.
I remember he was
position.
recruited. They said he was living on
Right.
the mainland.
So
that's a good race to watch.
it is a good race.
But right
yes.
now the difference is 36 votes
Right.
in that one, and the difference in the state chair race is 5.
I like that race.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it. And something else to note in the state chair race, when you add those two, you get 1,157.
Correct.
But when you add in the national committee woman race, you got 1,442 votes.
42
That's a
votes,
good 200 plus.
Yeah.
So the interest was definitely in the national
national
committee woman
committee.
race, in the head-to-head.
Why do
races.
you think that is the reason for that? The interest in that race compared to other races.
Just looking at this, Donna Christensen has political capital. 958 votes. That's him.
And you think her popularity from being
Her being the delegate to Congress,
Congress
definitely has value.
Okay.
It's showing here tonight, so that's interesting. And then we got the early voting numbers, so now we're just waiting for today's numbers, and I'm sure they'll come up eventually. But back to the Senate race, it looks like the incumbents tonight is an incumbent night.
Yeah, it looks that way. It looks that
Doing
way.
well. Doing well. The top 6 on St. Croix are all the incumbents, and 7th place is
Genevieve Whitaker.
Genevieve Whitaker, and she
Right.
has 16 votes behind Javon James in 6th place.
Right.
And
That's early voting again. We
That's
don't
early, correct.
There may be a difference in that particular race as the actual voting for today comes in. Interesting in St. Thomas though.
We got 2 challengers who are in the mix at 4th and 5th with Carla Joseph and Milton Pata at 373 and 367 respectively, and then 6 votes behind them is Marvin Bladen at 361, and then you have a drop off to Jonathan Tucker at 291, and he is 35 votes ahead of Larry Basholta at 256, and Gene Ford in 9th place at 246.
I thought, did you think that former Senator Gene Ford would have made a sort of a comeback, or
Like I said yesterday,
it's tough. It's tough when you are voted out and trying to get back in again.
I work with him. He was a very good senator for St. Thomas St. John. He made that mistake,
Big mistake.
with respect to salary.
Yes,
And
big mistake.
apparently he's still paying the penalty for that, according to this.
Well, and he's
You
gonna
know?
pay for it because I
And it
don't
doesn't look
think,
good.
No, it doesn't look good. I don't think he's gonna overcome that. And I remember that salary issue in the legislature has caused more than one person their political seat.
Yeah, man, that one's rough.
You can't think because you're a senator that you're entitled to all kinds of money. This community is not gonna put up with that, especially if they themselves are hurting in some form or fashion, and everybody's hurting some kind of how.
That issue goes back. People believe it actually started with 6905 in 2006, the waning days of the Turnbull administration.
Right.
That actually goes back to like 1990, where Farrelly had set up a structure to tie it to the commissioners, not just the lowest paid commissioners, to the commissioners.
Commissioners
Because Governor Farrelly at the time felt commissioners and senators, senators are the board. The board is the board. The president is the chairman of the board,
Mhm.
and the governor is the CEO,
Right.
and he has his deputies running the different agencies.
Mhm.
And in the mind, I guess this is what Governor Farley was thinking at the time. Agency heads and senators are on the same level, so that's why everybody was making 65,000. It was during the Turnbull administration when they made those changes, and the next thing you know, we had that controversy in 2006, and now it's tied to the lowest paid commissioner, which right now I heard that salary is actually changed from
It's
85 to 100,000. So that means that automatically senators are supposed to go to 100,000. No, but the question is, do they have to actually do that through a legislative mandate on the floor, or does that enact automatically? And that's left for legal interpretation.
And do they deal with that between now and November 3rd?
Well, the salaries can't change for this term. It would have to be for January of
But you know the
2021.
questions are going to be asked by.
Oh, are they going to deal with that?
Are they going to deal with that? I mean, they could put something in place prior to that.
Haven't been in legislature?
No, I ain't been in legislature. I'm not.
No. I'm saying having been.
Haven't been in legislature. Yeah.
Senators gonna think twice about making. But you know what that.
But they need to be careful in trying to let it blow over until after November or till come January. They got to be careful because the community, we have
that lame duck window, man.
No, I don't work no more, my son.
That lame duck window. I'm telling you, so much problems. But it looks like the incumbents are gonna be okay. At least after primary night.
Yeah.
Of course, November, that's a whole different discussion.
Have a little concern about Marvin Blyden, though. This is one time
but you just told me.
Yeah, but it's going to work every election. It worked. It's been working. It's been. What is it? His voters just sit back and wait for the general.
He has always told me his strength is in the non-democratic voting population. That's what he said. We're going to find out. That's going to be tested in 2020.
Again. Well, and it's big of him. It is big of him because he could have decided, you know what, since I'm having such an issue, I am going to change party affiliation from Democrat to independent or to no party. But he has stuck with the Democratic Party. So does that show some kind of loyalty? And should he be commended for that?
I can be honest with you. Just overall, Marvin Blyden's a good senator, man. Look, you know how good he is? He was the one that was talking about the rent. Remember the rent situation where landlords had the ability effective July 31st, and the governor extended it, right? Locally.
Yeah.
That was his issue. Those are the things, that people really, tend to focus on. So clearly something is up in 2019 and 2020 that has his numbers down where they are.
Could it be accepting the position of majority leader?
It could be. Could be. I'm not denying that. It could be.
One thing is certain, being president of the legislature has not affected Novel Francis.
And I love that. It affected me. I barely got back in.
Yeah.
Uzi Richards was Senate president. He ran 5th. Ronnie Russell was Senate president. He didn't get back in.
Right.
David Jones was Senate president. He didn't make it out the primary.
No, he got knocked out.
It's rough.
Yeah.
And it's always an issue for the St. Croix president because it's in a non-gubernatorial cycle. And if the public is frustrated with the executive branch, they take it out on the senators. We need to do something to change that because it's unfair to St. Croix Senate presidents to always have to be seeking re-election in a non-gubernatorial cycle, whereas the St. Thomas Senate president, they are defending their seat in a gubernatorial year when the focus is primarily on the gubernatorial. So something's unfair about that. But you know what? Life ain't fair, you know what I'm saying?
Senator Fred Gregory.
Oh, she's good. She's a vote getter. She's a vote getter.
She's number one again.
She's tough. You know what I'm saying?
But she's number one again so far.
But she's good.
Yeah.
And if you see her on the floor, these numbers are showing. You know what I'm saying? You could mark her as a winner right now. She's good to go. And it appears to me that Alicia Barnes gave away a seat. The way they're voting for incumbents.
Yeah.
To me.
Alison Degazan.
Oh, she's tough. She's third.
She finished third, yes.
She's third. Well, she's third right now.
So far.
Third right now. Okay. She's doing good. Doing good. And but yo, the man is back though. You know he's smiling, man. Kurt Viollet and Novell 1-2.
Yeah.
This is 2014 and 2016 revisited.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So clearly the public, and I knew this was going to happen because they've been telling me, you going back in? And I said, no, I going to hang out with my brother on election night and we're going to do the analysis. You know what I'm saying? Because they believe that. Some people believe that you should keep running and running and running.
No, you can't keep doing that.
Nah, man,
I mean, there comes a point and there comes a time. Well, first of all, when you have a job, you're supposed to have fun doing a job.
Yeah, man.
When it no longer becomes fun and it becomes a chore, you need to step aside because all you're doing now is you're accepting the job because you just want the money, probably. But enough of that,
Even my mom's, you know me, my mom, I love the politics. She said, "You're going in again?" I said, "No, I like it. I get to grow afro." You know,
but people say need a haircut though.
Everybody's saying that, right? Right? But check this out. And I was thinking about it coming here tonight, and I really want to tell the public this. Even though I was not successful in 2018, I won back something. I won back my private life. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Because once you're an elected official, this isn't for Neville James. This is for anybody. Once you're an elected official,
Your life is no
there is
longer
an
yours.
ownership mentality with the public, and to a certain extent, rightfully so.
Mhm.
And there's certain things you have to conform to. You know what I'm saying? No, I need a haircut, but I'm free. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't-
And I'm contrasting you. You know what I'm saying? I like the bald-headed look, but you know, I got breed. You know what I mean?
Well, I ain't got none, so I got still bald head.
But it isn't about you and me. It's about the people exercising their inalienable right. And it
Yeah.
appears in 2020, as it relates to the Democratic primary, the incumbents are doing well.
How do you think they're gonna do when the feelers open up? Because you have some folks that are returning again.
Well, a natural vote getter
You
in
know,
Alicia Chucky
Alicia
Hansen.
Chucky Hansen is
is
returning
back in the
again.
mix. We got Frankie Johnson.
Have
Sid
some new
Ferris,
faces, yes.
Some new faces. So
yeah.
it'll be interesting to see.
But unfortunately,
That's on St. Croix. On St.
That's on
Thomas.
St. Croix.
Ms. Heiliger is running again, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I think they want to start a new party. Actually, she actually tried to register as a new party. Some party they want to start in St. Thomas.
They have difficulties with ICM and Republican. We are doing.
And then they go reach the number.
Come on,
It
man.
looked like they didn't even know the
You
law.
Yeah,
You know what
we
I'm saying?
we need to work on what we currently have and build on what we currently have instead of trying something new. It's just not gonna work anymore.
And then you got perennial candidates like on St. Thomas, Smokey Fred. I think he's running for like the 12th consecutive time since he lost his seat.
But he's nice, you know. I
Yes,
mean,
he's consistent. We got Michael Springer. You know, he's a perennial loser. He been running, and I guess he ran like 10th last time, so I guess he believes.
Well,
he's getting close.
Yeah,
but,
he's getting
Genevieve,
close.
Genevieve Whitaker,
Genevieve
she finished
finished-
8th,
she
and
finished
she's barely in. She's 7th in the
so
primary.
that doesn't mean anything. Yeah, I
know,
mean,
it's gonna be good.
I personally thought maybe she may have finished a little bit higher than what she did.
Yeah, no, that's a
You know?
surprise.
That's a big
That's a
surprise.
That's a surprise.
But could it be because they're not able to touch the flesh, knock on doors,
Like
and
they-
that's going to be a problem with the newbies who are running in for the general election.
like
You're
they
not-
say, like they say on the mainland, retail politics,
Mhm.
touching flesh. You know, who's a big believer in that? One of your mentors, Dr. Chabot.
He was he's great.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, we know who our primary mentor was.
Yeah, yeah.
But when it comes to talking, Dr. Chabot used to say, "Got touch that flesh."
Down to earth, man.
Dr. Oil, cool as ever. You know what I'm
A
saying?
strong Democrat,
Oh, staunch.
Yeah,
Staunch.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they can't do that this year, or
No,
at
they
least
can't.
to the levels that they
Yeah.
typically do it.
Are you-
Olhan and Akar is the way to go.
Yeah. Are you surprised at the position that we spoke about Marvin Blyden, who normally how he runs? Are you surprised with Senator Javan James with his performance so far?
He's in 6th place, right?
Right.
A little bit, because I was hearing that people like all that stuff, and Oakland Bentham. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mhm.
We weren't hearing the positive talk about Oakland Bentham. He's showing it tonight.
He's showing it tonight.
He's in 5th place right now, and Allison. No, he's in 4th place right now, right?
Right in 4th, yeah.
Gittins is in 5th, and Degazan is in 3rd. So they're close to each other. Okay, yeah. So we're looking at the incumbents. Go ahead.
This is the St. Croix. You have the incumbent senators are Oakland Benta, Allison Degazan, Novel Francis Jr., Javan James, Kenneth Gittins, and Kurt Verley. So far, these 6.
1 to 6.
1 to 6.
One
Yeah,
to six.
so far.
1 to 6.
And of course, the number 7 candidate so far is Genevieve Whitaker.
And she is 16 votes behind Javon James.
Behind Javan James. So that race could be very close.
As a matter of fact, if you take Alicia Barnes out, these are the candidates who finished 2nd to 8th in the general
In the
election
general election.
in 2018.
Right. That's
So
correct.
nothing's changed as related. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And one thing I don't want us to do is to get into over analysis. 2nd to 8th in the general election are all in the primary tonight, and they're running 1 to 7.
Exactly. And remember 2 years ago, you said those that finished in the top 7 in the Democratic Party, they're all senators.
Be careful.
So,
Be careful.
I mean,
but Chucky don't get votes, man.
no, I'm not saying
Okay,
she's
that's okay,
not.
votes,
I was just making a statement as to what happened 2 years ago.
I just wanted to put Senator Hansen's political history in context. The first time she won a seat, I was in my last year of college in November of 1986. This is 2020. That's 34 years, and she has staying power as it relates to getting votes.
Okay.
Whether you like her, you don't like her, you love her, you hate her, whatever it is. as it comes to getting votes, she is a notorious
Vote
vote
getter.
getter.
And we will hear from her
Effective tomorrow.
effective tomorrow because it begins. And and like I said, and there's a lot of issues that that needs to be dealt with. Whether she is the candidate that can deal with the issues that we need to deal with, whether if she along with other 6 others, if she's successful. But here we have the incumbent senators
Yeah,
from St. Thomas, St. John
yeah.
District. There is Mr. Senator Marvin Blyden, Donna Fred Gregory, Stedman Hodge, and Anthony Bobby Thomas. And bear in mind, remember, Myron Jackson did not run.
And as we speak, they are running 1, 2, 3, and 6.
Great disparities. There, that's not.
Pata and Carla Joseph are running fifth and fourth respectively.
Mr. Pat in of himself is a human resources specialist.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
could be very helpful in the upcoming.
Correct. And I think he'll do better in the general election because he was working for the administration, the non-democratic administration, MAP Pata.
Matt Potter. So you think the Potter name is helpful to him?
It should be because when Oswald Potter ran and won, he ran as an independent. He was part of a new generation move with him and Alison Petrus.
Alison Petrus,
And
yeah.
he won in '92, and then Petrus won in '94.
And then he lost in
96. He lost in '96.
96, yeah.
He was part of Schneider. He got penalized for being too close to Schneider in 1996. Yeah. Okay, yeah. We also want to mention that Senator Stephen Payne, he is running unopposed.
That's amazing. I mean, I don't let you. That's amazing to me.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But what it speaks to is the election process is a costly deal. Like if you're a government employee, 6 months of being unemployed. If you don't have leave, I mean that's a long time to go without seeing biweekly revenue. And that probably discourages people from wanting to run.
Well, and the at-large seat in and of itself is a seat that you have to travel to 3 islands.
Correct. And it's a conditional at large, with the condition being you have to live on St. John.
And you have to live on St. John. So I guess no one felt. I'm not saying that they don't want to be a senator. It just may have been too. It was probably cost prohibitive for them to run.
That's no. Probably that's exactly what it is.
So
But you know something, we're not factoring in.
Get lucky.
There's something else we're not factoring in. Maybe, and you and I, we horse racing is intravenous with us, right? There might be people who don't like the incumbents, but it's one thing to don't like an incumbent. It's another thing to find somebody to beat
To replace
an
them with-
incumbent.
yes,
You check what
right,
I'm saying?
right, exactly.
So maybe tonight might be the competition for the incumbents aren't looked at as, you follow what I'm saying? Like
Right.
legitimate to knock them out.
Mhm.
Or maybe there isn't a change mentality like there was in 2018 when they changed course now, came from long shot status, won the primary, won the governorship, It happens.
It happens. Carla Joseph.
She's been running. It looks like 2020 might be the year that Carla Joseph gets to go to the swearing in as a senator. And they call her
And
name as a member.
For everyone that's running here, we don't have a lot of people running because there's only 20 that's running in the primary, and then there's some other number. I don't know exactly how many people running in the general election, but you have to commend everyone that's running here because they're running in some difficult times, like I
Oh,
said.
man, yeah.
To want to step up to the plate to try to turn this economy around. But let me let you go ahead with that. Neville.
Yeah. On the screen right now, we're seeing the 7 challengers, to include Lawrence Boschulte, Gene Ford, a former senator, Carla Joseph, Milton Potter, like we said, human resources personnel director, Shirley Sadler, who ran for a number of years and then stopped, and then she came back in. Former Senator Patrick Simeons-Pro, who served 2 terms and parts of a 3rd term, and Jonathan P. Tucker, who is running well tonight. He ran last time as well. I think he finished 8th in the primary last time. Either won the primary, I'm not sure. But tonight, he's running 5th, right?
No,
07.
Milton Potter is 5th. I think he's about 7th. No, we have 2 gentlemen here who have
those are the previously elected.
elected Senator Gene Ford and Patrick Sproul. Sorry to say this, but the voters are not really
it's not looking well.
to return who was once there, and We already spoke about probably a couple of the reasons why it has
Senator
affected
Ford, yeah.
Senator Gene
Yeah,
Ford.
but I could say this, the people might not vote for him, and that's their right, and he's gonna have to live with the results and all that. But I could say, while he was a senator, for those 4 years that I served with him in the 31st and the 32nd, Gene Ford was a hardworking, good senator for St. Thomas, St. John. Just unfortunate that town meeting that we had on St. Croix, and
One statement.
he was baited into a question by one of my childhood acquaintances, and I answered the question, and he felt inclined to embellish it, and from there, it's been downhill politically.
Yeah,
Since
yeah.
then, but
I mean,
I'm just trying to call a spade a spade.
but
you know what I'm saying?
but you have to understand, you're dealing with a community of people that when you talk to them and tell them exactly how you feel and they don't like it, they turn against you. That's it.
Telling me, man.
It's done.
I was
No,
fortunate.
they're gonna buy you a drink at the end of the election or a plate of food, but you ain't getting their vote.
No, sir.
And
No,
they
sir.
were very offended by
Yeah.
that particular statement. And a penny less than what I'm actually making, it's not worth it. Well, Miss Sandy, I guess you have to go home.
And here's the deal. And I spoke with this about somebody. Might have been Senator Labor himself, because he and I been talking. And all of us know that we be out. We good now,
Yeah.
Right? Here's what I tell people. If you're a commissioner, they don't have with you as much as they do with you being a senator. Why? Because it's the governor who hire a commissioner.
Right.
It's the people who hire
Who
a
hired the
senator.
senators. And the senators are, in fact, was mentioned earlier by some senators, current senators, can look at themselves as super commissioners. And that's a problem.
Yeah, man.
Because that's not your job. Your job is to come and find revenue generating legislation, pass laws, stuff like that. You're not supposed to be trying to micromanage a department. And that's some of the things that's happening, and it's gonna backfire eventually on some folks though.
And I had the governor. He was on our radio program on Thursday in the aftermath of our luck when we got spared by Isaias.
Isaias, man.
Right?
Yeah.
We gonna say it correctly, but Isaias, right?
Yeah.
Isaiah, right? The governor lose tonight because the governor took some shots against the senators.
Yeah.
You heard it.
Mm-hmm.
And me and the governor, we don't rap and tonight based on these numbers with the way the public is voting and supporting the incumbents. The governor, they go work with them.
But to be quite honest with you, everybody needs to work with each other. And we need to
Yes.
stop this fighting, because this thing about going after the governor going after them, it's not doing us any good. But we're gonna come back to that conversation, because right now let's go to Carolyn Fox, the supervisor of election. She's waiting patiently.
Madam Supervisor, yeah, you can see her sitting down there, right? Madam Supervisor, good night. How are you?
Everything is blessed. How y'all doing?
Good. Where you there?
I'm right here.
Santa Cruz?
Santa Cruz. I just walked in through the door a few minutes ago.
No, you walking through the back door, man.
Walking through the back.
I
Don't
said
try to
hello,
like a weird
but
feel.
I've been here for half an hour now.
Oh, okay.
So I'm back.
How
I'm
was,
back.
how was St. Thomas and St. John today? Because we know that you started on St. John and worked your way from St. John through St. Thomas, even though you landed in St. Thomas. You went straight to St. John, came back to St. Thomas, and then you finally made it back to the mainland.
That's correct. So yes, I went up on the barge to Coral Bay. We went way out to Calabash Boom. Again, it's a great site. The folks out there, it's a light turnout, so the numbers out there wasn't as great as we expected. But St. John always a little light, so they ended up with 36 today. But after that, I did Calabash. I visited the office and Julia Sproul Elementary School. And then we came down and I did Bertha C. Bashalta and then Charlotte Amalia Cafeteria. Again, the crowd was out there doing a little extra electioneering. Then we did the office, and then I came over this evening. So I didn't get to get into the St. Christ sites this time around, but I've done it before because so the numbers are, again, we expected a 10% turnout. We may get close to that amount, which will equate to maybe about 3,000 voters or a little over 3,000. So I think we're pretty much on target for that. Absentee, I know they discussed that a while ago, 409 from St. Thomas went out,
Yes.
and 179 from St. Croix. So that's not a big number, really. I mean, it depends on how the results come out. It will be, if some folks are close between the 7th and 8th or 6th and 7th, that may make a difference, but we'll wait and see. Right now, St. John is into St. Thomas, so we're just waiting on that tabulation and calculation. And then St. Thomas final voting center should be in. And I would expect that within the next half an hour. So by the time we wrap up, it might be closer to 10. I do too also want to give to tell the community to keep their support and prayers for John Abramson and his family, the former supervisor. And I know he would have been here this evening as your co-host because he's always here doing the election results analysis. So we want to offer our prayers and sympathy to him and his family. Any questions of me?
No, I think you've done a good job. As a matter of fact, I have to give kudos to Mr. Terrell Alexander. He came on prior to you, and he was able to cover a lot of the things. And we know you're very busy, and we want you to get some rest because you have a very difficult task in front of you between now and November general election as to how you're going to handle it. We don't know where we're going to be a few months from now with respect to COVID-19. How are you going to handle the election? Will it be mail-in, all mail-in? Are you going to be, we're going to be visiting the polls? Are you going to be doing the early voting and stuff? So we know you got your hands full. Well, if that's the case, then yes, I do have a question. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we are ready. Like I said, y'all are here August 1st, but I'm already in September because we have to get ballots ready for the federal election. So we are looking at some processes. We are collaborating with the states. I'll find some companies that can do ballots all mail out. So we are looking at that, and I will present that option to the board. So we are pretty much set. Again, we got federal funding, so funds are not a showstopper for us. And with 55,000 voters, I mean, most of the states have millions, and these companies serve them. So I'm sure they will be able to serve us. And so we're getting the cost, we're getting the estimate in case we have to go that route. Early voting, we also have an extended number of days. We have 24 days, and we know the folks love the early voting. We thank the Department of Health because they help us. They came and inspect us to make sure we are following all the guidelines, social distancing, PPE, and wearing of the face covering. And so far, the public has been very cooperative, and we want to also thank them. So we'll be ready. Again, we do have our calendar. We go week to week. And I know I'm military, so I'm 24/7. So I really don't have to get too much. I'm ready to go. And one note that you talked about, I want to kind of weigh in on. I know you was talking about why some folks didn't run in St. John especially. And one of the other things y'all we haven't taken into consideration, we got a lot of federal funds in the government here. And if you're working for an organization that you're on a federal contract or you're getting federal funds to pay your salary, you can't run unless you resign from that position. So with the hardships of what's going on in the territory, nobody wants to really give up their federal job for that also. So that was another factor that you need to remember. And so they had some candidates that run before and thought about it, pick up packages, but didn't file because once they did the investigation, they found out that they could not run. They either have to do one or the other.
So thanks for the information. I have one more question for you. As a supervisor of election for the district, for the territory, have you been in conversation with other supervisors of election across the country with regards to this controversy that the president has started with respect to mail-in ballots? And what are your thoughts on mail-in ballots? Do you find it, I as a former member of the board of election, I don't see a problem with us doing anything. What are your thoughts with regards to what's going on with those statements that are being made that mail-in ballots could be deemed fraudulent and whatnot?
They did many investigations, and mail-in ballots, they find less than 1%. It's not fraudulent. The Virgin Islands have been doing absentee ballot for years with no major issues. And so again, we verify if the person is a voter. So there's options. The board go through a process, and you're familiar. They just don't take a ballot and say, yes, you're good to go. They have to verify you're a voter, registered, and meet all the requirements. And it's a very thorough process. And I don't see any way that they could be fraudulent. There's also fine for doing fraudulent things with voting. So most persons are now more educated, and I don't see that as an option. So again, they're just trying to, overshadow or overcast so they could, discourage voters from participating. But I think all voters, I think if you heard President Obama message at John Lewis's funeral service in Atlanta, I think that sums it up. We need to get out. We need to get out and vote. It's a right that many sacrifice for, and it's one right that we can't give up. And one other quote that we had, to not vote is not a protest. It's a surrender.
Exactly.
and that's
exactly.
I forget the guy's name that I quote, but he's from New Jersey. So you know, we do our best, and elections again, safe, secure, transparent, and accessible. Anyone can come and check the process.
Well, thank you very much, Supervisor.
Supervisor, we have a date Tuesday morning.
Yes, we do.
I'll talk to you at about 8:20.
Okay.
Give me the wrap up and all stuff. You're gonna be doing some walk-in absentee vote counting tomorrow, right? I mean Monday.
Monday starting at 2:00.
Okay, good. And we'll get those numbers. Okay.
Yes, you will.
Thank you very much, Supervisor. Thank you for playing a part in this process and leading this particular agency and reaching out to the different mediums, including ours, on a regular basis. We appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
You
You
too.
too. Thanks a lot.
Well, Neville, I think that question was very important to ask so that they can alleviate the fears of anybody who thought that mail-in ballots would be a problem.
Well,
And that's a very
president,
you know,
the
can't be
president
doing
to
that,
me,
man.
that's more theater than anything else, because in reality, mail-in voting is absentee voting.
It is exactly.
That's exactly what it is.
And
Not almost like it. Exactly like
and
what it
it's
is.
something he does every year because he lives in Washington D.C., but he votes out of Florida.
I mean, come on, man. And that's why he is losing traction. And we hope, that if in fact he's going to continue to do this and not necessarily show the sensitivity as to what we're dealing with COVID-19, like he hasn't shown for the last 5-6 months, that on January 20th we'll have a new chief executive. But we'll see what happens, because the public has the right to be wrong, according to Celestino White. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
And polls have been known to fool people.
of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So we'll see what happens. So we're waiting on today's numbers.
Today's number. Yeah,
But I just want to qualify what the supervisor said. They have already exceeded the 10%, not
Which
by a
is
lot.
nice. Yeah.
Because the number is 3513 and the registered voters is 33,000. So
33,000,
they have to
yeah.
get to 3,300, and they're at 3513. So, and that was up to 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
I know we have a package with some of the voters who are out there today, and with regards to how they feel about certain candidates.
Just
we're gonna run that.
something like a father. I just know when you say that. It's like I hear it on the radio. No, seriously.
Well, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Well, tomorrow, today's Saturday. No,
That's Saturday. No, his day, right?
It's his day.
So we go to that package.
Well, I don't go to the package. They told me that we're gonna go to the package.
I think they're very promising. They are very promising candidates. I love to see the candidates for the Democratic Party.
I feel pretty good about them. I think it's a good mix of people who are seasoned as well as new people. I'd like to see more representation of young people. I think they're given a lot of lip service of, we promote the youth, but I'm not really seeing it in action.
Tell you the truth, I believe they're the same old story. I haven't heard any new ideas. I don't think enough people coming out there and saying, they talk and, they're not really saying anything. You don't know what their programs are going to be, what their agenda is, how they're going to change things, or, nothing about what they are actually going to do.
I don't see people who really say to me, hey, I am, a person that is going to make a huge difference. But, you have to give people an opportunity to show you what they're made out of.
I think we have a good realm of choices. The spectrum looks quite probable for a good outcome.
I have a few guys inside there who want to stay inside here, but they say some people want to get a little change. So we got to see what we could do. You can't tell who to vote for based on any issues, because they don't present any issues.
That's a strong statement. By the way,
They had to bring you back twice.
they had to bring it back twice. They had to
Oh,
wrap
okay.
it up. I like that. By the way, I want the public to know, we've been getting the text messages, and there's been inquiry about John Abramson. He's dealing with a situation,
Yeah.
and he's gonna be okay.
We're not permitted to say exactly what it is, even though I
but
don't really know what
dealing
it
with a
is.
situation,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we're fortunate, the big brother step in, and we wishing John well, and we're positive, and we think he's going to come through this.
And
He's
John,
our election guru.
I know you're watching. I hope I'm doing a good job filling in for you because I know because like you said, John will just talk and talk and talk, and he's very good at what he does. But we're still waiting on the numbers to come in for the final. As a matter of fact, Ms. Fox said that the information from the St. John polling places were just
check
about
this out,
in.
Dodson. Check this out. If we had more early voting than election day voting on St. Croix, it stands to reason there's not going to be significant change with the election day voting on
It
St. Croix.
shouldn't. It shouldn't.
On St. Thomas, we actually had more election day voting than early day voting, but keep in mind they had an 11-day window there
Right.
where voting wasn't taking place.
Yeah.
So, and to me, between 7th and 8th on St. Thomas, that is 291 for Jonathan P. Tucker Jr. and 256 for Lawrence Boschulte. That's 35 votes. So that's the number that he would have to overcome in the 1010 up to 6 o'clock, probably a lot more because there's a lot of people who vote between 6 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you got absentee ballots. So that race ain't going to end now. But I think the top 6 in St. Thomas are good because between 6 and 8 is 105 votes.
Which is Blyden
and Boschulte.
And Boschulte.
That's
no,
a big,
not Blyden, not Boschulte. Blyden and
Tucker.
Tucker.
No, Blyden and Boschulte. 6th and 8th. Not 7th and 8th or 6th.
Oh,
and 7th. Okay. So that's 361
6
and
and 8,
256,
right?
right? 105.
Yeah.
105 is a big number in this sample because a lot of people
And it's very
to
difficult
turn out.
to change that. It's
But
very
on St.
difficult.
Croix, the difference between Genevieve Whitaker and Troy Williams is 182. Check what I'm saying?
That's hard.
It's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard because you don't have
And Troy is one of the
674 people come out up to 6 o'clock.
Troy is one of the younger ones that try to get into
Well, this is his introduction. Like his posters, sharp.
Yeah, it looks.
You know what I'm saying?
Very,
But
very,
because of COVID-19, the inability to touch the retail politics
Yeah.
stuff, rough.
Yep.
Rough. And it appears that Shauna Richards and Emanuela Perez, they'll be on the.
I'm kind of happy for Emanuela Perez. She ran the first time 2 years ago, and she didn't do as well as she did tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, she still is not a member of the board
and
yet.
she
but
loves the children.
She loves the
Boys
children, and
club, all
she's
that
going to bring
stuff.
a different perspective to the board also.
Wang Papo.
Wang Papo Safara. It's a very serious, very
Wang
serious thing.
Papo, yeah.
But
and Shauna Richards.
but she has an energy about her.
Brilliant crucian, Shauna Richards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Emmanuel Perez it comes from the heart.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Tremendous
So
amount
we
of
got-
energy of Shauna, of course. Shauna
As
is
a
very
matter of fact,
intelligent also.
That's in. Shauna Richards is first in class territory wide or no?
For the Board of Education. Yeah.
And St. Croix, she got 472 votes.
Yeah.
And St. Thomas, the highest vote getter is Kaiser Carlwood at 384.
Might have been a tough field over there.
Over there, tough.
Who probably was splitting
because,
votes.
because you got three.
Yeah.
Three legitimate candidates fighting for 2. Whereas on St. Croix, you only. 3 fighting for 2 out of the 4.
Right.
Whereas on St. Croix,
was 2 for
Imani
3.
Heath is just an introduction. Thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Who is Emmanuel? Emmanuel Heath.
I still trying to figure that out. But I
Okay.
want to meet them, because
It's very important
Yeah,
because
but
we,
you know
we
what,
need
Dawson?
information to be able to disseminate to the
because
audience.
They must always be commended and appreciated for offering themselves.
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
look, it's not a easy thing to put yourself up to run
No.
for any political office.
No.
And I ran for the board of
And they're not
election.
losers. They just weren't successful.
Yeah, when I ran in 1994, actually I was appointed by then Governor Farley in '93 to replace someone, and I had to run in '94 for the first time. It was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life.
I was lucky in 2004 that was a change year. And I actually get baptized in a primary election, and I got sent home in a primary election. Right? And but I always say this, right? The public, you got to show them love regardless of the results. You have to. You know what I'm saying?
I'ma tell
And I like that.
We're talking about the public again. I'll tell you something about the public because I always tell people, no, you better know your people limit.
Yeah, man. Do your homework.
do not try to talk above people or to make. When they elect you as a senator, they didn't elect you as some supreme being. You're elected so that I can talk to you. When I ask you a question, when I meet you, I need to get a conversation with you. Let's
Yeah,
conversate.
yes, sir.
Don't
Yes,
act
sir.
like as if I don't know what I'm talking about all of a
Yeah.
sudden. Because prior to you becoming a senator, you were seeking me out every day to have a conversation. Now all of a sudden you're a senator. You can't talk to me.
I want to clarify a statement I made earlier, and I got this from a former senator who's going to remain nameless, but he was correcting me. He said the salary of the lowest commissioner wasn't changed. There was an increased amount placed in the 21 budget to raise the lowest commissioner salary, but it has not been raised. So it looks like that's what the admin.
Up then since you can't.
There we
There
go.
we go.
We're back on.
We're back on.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
we're sorry about that.
Legislative Ordinance District of St. Croix. Kurt Valley, 1,194. Should I do this by the number? No,
Go straight down. Go straight down. Yeah.
Novel Senator Novel Francis, 1,097. In third, Allison Degazan, 892. Fourth, Genevieve Whitaker, 877. Fifth, Oakland Benta, 853. Sixth, Javon E. James, 851. And the seventh, Kenneth L. Giddens, 799. Eighth, Troy Williams, 574. And ninth, Andrew John, 178.
That's
So
a change.
a substantial change.
That's
So
a change.
Genevieve went from 7th to 4th.
Exactly.
Genevieve Whitaker, candidate Whitaker.
That's a big jump.
And Javon still remains in number 7, and Kenneth Giddens dropped all the way down to number 7 now.
Correct.
Javon James went to 6. So
Correct.
let me repeat that
Correct.
again.
Matter of fact, Javon James actually stayed at 6.
At
We just
6,
had a
yeah.
shift
Kurt-
where Giddens came under him and Whitaker jumped to 4.
Okay, again, it's Kurt Valet with 1,194. That's number 1. Number 2 is Novell E. Francis Jr., 1,097. Allison Degazan with 892. Genevieve Whitaker with 877. Oakland Benta, 853. Javon James, 851. That's only 2 votes separating those two. Kenneth L. Giddens, 799. Troy Williams, 574. And Andrew John, 178. Board of Education, St. Croix. And first was Shauna K. Richards with 900. Emmanuel Perez, 630. And Imani, 467. So the top two for that particular race, Board of Education, goes on to the general election. Correct. Again, it's Shauna K. Richards, 900, Emmanuel Perez with 638, and Imani Heath with 467. For this in the St. Thomas division of the Board of Education. I'm sorry, the state chair.
No, you're right. St. Thomas Board of
St. Thomas Board of Education. The reason why
yeah. At 882. Nandi C. Esquire at 873. Aralaka at 683. And Judith W. Edwin at 313. So the top two has created some separation there
So
with Kaiser Carwood and Nandi Siku.
A 9-vote difference between the top two vote getters,
Correct.
Kaiser Carwood and
That's a
Nancy
humdinger.
Siku. Danny Brook.
That's Danny Brook. Yeah. And then the Glenn Smith in the state chair race now has 1,245 votes, and Cecil Benjamin has 1,211. So that one's tight. That might need absentee, but 34 ain't an easy number to overcome. Very difficult. So Glenn Smith has moved forward there. Okay, we're gonna hear from his apprentice at this point. Sure, so good night once again.
Go ahead, Churchill. No?
It seems like she can't hear us.
We want to hear from Coach Churchill is supposed to give us the results from the St. Thomas district.
Yeah, sure, so can you hear us? I guess not.
We're gonna
Okay,
come back, but
we got the St. Thomas senatorial numbers. We want to let Churchill do it?
Churchill's going to do that one, yeah. She has the
Okay,
information in St.
yeah,
Thomas.
because we'll let her go ahead and do that.
You can do the National Committee woman.
Yeah, that one's over.
It is.
Yeah, Donna Christensen, 1,895 votes. Carolyn Burke, 1,145 votes. So, and that's 61.95% to 37.43%. I got a text message. Somebody was suggesting that there was a negative ad that Ms. Burke ran, and apparently.
Oh, you got that text message on that?
I got that tonight right here on my
okay,
phone. You know what I'm saying? So
So
people are just speculating. You know what I'm saying?
Well-
The numbers are what they are.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it could be that
in a small community, negative politicking, it's rough.
low root.
Yeah, man.
That's what some people call it.
Yeah, so. I really thought this was gonna be tight, but that delegate to race capital, delegate to Congress,
yeah,
capital, that has value, man. You can see it. She went by 24%. Wow.
Is Saoirse ready for us?
And it appears that Randolph Bennett gone clear for district chair in St. Thomas, leading by 83, 754.
Well,
to
there was a time when
671.
Randolph Bennett was thinking about running for Senate, you know.
Yeah, man.
So, but
You didn't run last time, though?
I'm not sure. I can't remember if he did or not. But this is the first step in getting your name on the ballot. I think maybe last time he may not have run for Senate. He may have run for a territorial committee seat. Okay, let's go. Let's take it over to Churchill. I think she has the results for the St. Thomas district.
All right. So for the St. Thomas, we have Donna Fred Gregory with 1,249 votes. At Neil Bobby Thomas with 995 votes. Milton E. Potter with 970 votes. Carla Joseph, 956. Stedman Hodge with 945. Marvin Blyden with 858. Jonathan P. Tucker Jr. with 696. Jean A. Ford with 599. Shirley L. Sadler with 502. Lawrence Larry Bashalti with 494. And Patrick Simeon Sproul with 475.
What's your take looking at the numbers, Churchill?
Yes.
Go ahead, Churchill. You were about to go ahead.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
No, I was just asking you, what's your first impression or your second impression looking at these numbers out of St. Thomas St. John?
Yes, so it seems like the numbers have followed the very closely to the early voting and absentee ballot votes. And it does seem that our two top winners, which were Donna Scott Gregory as well as Atney Bobby Thomas, still remain the front runners. And then we have the newcomer, Milton Potter. He definitely did pretty well in third place. And then we have Carla Joseph with number 4. And it seems to be very reflective of what the early voting had to represent.
And then we're looking at the overall numbers, and there was anticipation of at least 10% of the Democrats coming out, and that would have been like 3,300. And we're seeing here now that the total ballots cast is 3,901. So they've exceeded that 10%, like 12%, but it's still, even though they beat the 10%, it's not a real impressive number as it relates to turnout.
Right. And I think that's pretty great representation. And we're glad that we had more voters than we expected to come out. And hopefully that we have even more representation in the November election.
Thank you. Do you have any more numbers for us, Rochelle?
Yes. So we have for the, I think you talked about the Board of Education, but I'll go over it again. So we have Kaiser Colwood with 882, as well as Nandi Saku with 873. And then for the National Committee Woman, we have Donna Christensen at 1,895, as well as the Territorial Committee at Large. We have Risa Richards with 1,223, and then Barbara A. Peterson at 1,187. We also have Nemi Williams Jackson with 1,113, as well as Kelvin A. Rodriguez with 1,093, followed up with Rudolph Anthony Green at 533. The district chair for the St. Thomas St. John for the Democratic Party, we have Randolph N. Bennett with 754. As well as Edgar Baker Phillips with 671.
Or maybe putting you in a not necessarily uncomfortable spot, but that race was a very heated race between Randolph Bennett and Edgar Baker Phillips. What are your thoughts on that race? And have you heard anything from anyone around who was saying that race was a very contentious race?
Well, we definitely saw a lot of representation from Mr. Baker. He had really big signs around, but it seems like there was a upset there, and we're glad to see that people came out and they definitely shared their thoughts on who they thought should be the district chair. So I think people really came out and exercised their right to vote and made sure that their voices were heard.
And any sentiments on the National Committee Women's race?
Congratulations to the winner.
Okay, Churchill. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you.
I like that response. Good job, Churchill. Awesome.
Thank
you. Well, it'd have been nice if we could have heard from Mr. Raymond Williams, who's the chairman.
I think we're gonna hear from him at some point because he did text me.
Yeah, but he can text you all he wants. He don't run this program.
Yeah. No, he won't check in. And then we should be hearing from the winners, the lead-in vote getters. We have a repeat of 2014 and 2016 on St. Croix.
Yeah.
With Cordelia and Novel Francis running 1-2. The exacta, that's the third time in the last 4 elections the exacta come in cold, man. Viale, Francis, the cold exacta. And then Donna Fred Gregory. That's a win bet.
It's called a cakewalk.
Yes, sir.
You know, that's
a win bet. She good. She good, but
that's the
but now, you know, when you're looking at the numbers, you know, the we saw this change. Genevieve Whitaker, what we were hearing and what we actually felt actually showed up on election day.
It sure did.
You check what I'm saying? Because early voting,
big difference between early voting and actual election day.
It looked like it's two.
At least for her, anyway.
It's like 2 different electorates.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she went from 7th, right? From 7th to 4th.
Right.
Right.
From 7th to 4th, yes.
And Benta remain at 5th.
Right.
Javon James is now 6th, but that's a dead heat because he's only 2 votes behind Benta. 853, 857.
You could have some changes there with the absentee
with the 5th and 6th.
Yeah, with the 5th and 6th.
And then Kenneth Gittins at 799 in seventh place. You know, he has to pick up his thing. He had a very unfortunate situation there with a situation with the Williams Elite
With the Williams
and all that
situation
stuff.
and
So
Horsemen
impacted
Association.
one of his campaign events.
Yeah.
And it's showing here.
But you know,
Troy Williams at 574. You know,
yeah,
he's got
that's
some
not
votes.
bad. That's very good for
Got some votes.
for first time out.
Got some votes.
As far as Kenny's concerned, he's always hovering around the bottom middle, but he gets in. You notice that, right?
Gittins.
Gittins, yeah. He's always between fifth and seventh.
He had a good year in
You know?
2014,
Yeah.
but okay. Senator James, can the young lady repeat the numbers for St. Thomas? We can repeat that for you, St. Thomas Senate. Okay. St. Thomas, Donna Fred Gregory, 1,249. Athniel Bobby Thomas, 995. Milton Potter, 970. Carla Joseph, 956. Stedman Hodge, 945. Marvin Blyden, 858. Jonathan Tucker in seventh at 696. And then you have a 97 vote differential between Gene Ford
And Tucker.
because Gene Ford is at 599. Shirley Sadler is at 502. Lawrence Larry Bosholta is at 495. And Patrick Simeon Pro is at 475. And you had 60 write-in, and you had 63 write-ins on St. Croix. Okay, so I think St. Thomas is good.
Well, the ratings are very insignificant.
St. Thomas is locked in.
Yeah.
Both Senate races are pretty much locked in. 'Cause
Yeah.
the differential, given the percentage you need to get more than who finished eighth out of the volume of absentee votes, 'cause that's how you got to factor it in. It's not there. It's not there.
And this gives the election system an opportunity to cast ballots, not cast ballots, to cast lots, which gives the candidates an opportunity to get a quick
number.
start. Yeah, and so
Right.
they can begin to use the particular name, such and such candidate, number one. Well, it won't be number one, but yeah, as a matter of fact, there will be number one this year.
Who?
The candidates for there will be a number one candidate for Senate because there's no at large.
Correct.
So there will be a number one candidate.
Unless he has to officially be elected. Yeah, we gotta check and see what happens.
He has to be. I
Yeah.
believe so. That's a question that we have to ask the supervisor.
Who
I'm not gonna.
do we have someone on the line? Donna, yeah, you could bring on the notorious DFG is on the phone line out of St. Thomas. Donna Fred Gregory, congratulations.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, Donna.
Hi, how are you?
Congratulations. Good.
Thank you.
Go right ahead. We know you're good at thanking your voters, so we're
Well,
gonna stop you. Go
I
right
want to
ahead.
say thank you to the community for once again giving me their resounding vote of confidence. I've worked extremely hard since I sat in the 33rd legislature, and I continue to fight for the people. While the COVID-19 situation that has impacted us, have prevented me from going door to door, I continue to push and work really hard. So, my work has paid off. I will say, though, that I am a little disappointed in the turnout of the election, but I believe there was some snafus along the way. Many people text and call me today and ask where was the voting location. So we had some snafus along the way, but let's hope and pray that in the November election that if the information is shared and the Board of Elections will in fact utilize television as well. I think they have to use all of the medium associated with the media in order to get the word out. So there was a little confusion around there, but I must say that again, I want to just thank the community of the St. Thomas St. John district, and I will continue to work on their behalf and continue to push and beat the streets and to ensure that, we address the issues of the people. And of course, we have to remain focused on the issues of WAPA and the government employees retirement system. These are issues and our economics. These are issues that are important and in the forefront of my mind. And I'm certain it's in the forefront of the minds of the people in the U.S. Virgin Islands, just overall, outside of the St. Thomas St. John district, the territory as a whole. So I just want to thank the voters again for their confidence, and I will continue to work hard on their behalf. I am one that believes that you have to take night and make day in order to ensure that you're doing your best for the people of the Virgin Islands and the people that you serve.
Thank you very much, Donna. I know this, Dotson. I know it's going to be a difficult time between now and the end of the year with respect to what's going on, especially with COVID-19 and the recession that we're probably going to go through. How do you prepare for the election and then also moving forward if once elected in general election in November?
Well, I will continue to do what I've done for leading up to the primary, which is continue to utilize my social media, get on the radio platforms, and continue to really do my work in the legislature. I think there's just so much work to do. You know, I've sat in the Senate for 19 months. It's about 19 months in total, and I have so much legislation that I need to push forward. So as I prepare for the upcoming election in November, I just have to continue to stay focused on the people's work.
Okay, well, thank you very much from me. I want to congratulate you again. And I know that your listening audience and your constituents are looking forward for the next few months from Donna Fred Gregory.
And I just
thank
want
you,
to
and
say,
thank you again.
I want to say, Senator Fred Gregory, you are, once again, you've proven to be the notorious DFG.
Well, you know, while I love when you say that, you know, my campaign folks have said that, you know, notorious have somewhat of a little negative connotation, but I see, you know, notorious also means that, you know, you're willing to do what you have to do, and you're willing to make the tough decisions. And that's something that I, Donna Fred Gregory, will continue to do. I will continue to ensure that the oversight of the legislature once I sit, where I sit, is in fact conducted appropriately. It's done. I will continue to ensure that when we review the budget process, that in fact, you know, we appropriate the necessary resources in a meaningful way. We have to really look at our budgets meaningfully. And of course, enact legislation and focus on the bread and butter issues that impact the people of the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Beautiful. Love that.
And by the way, let them know that the definition for notorious also is the area that you're in, you're large and in charge. That's what notorious
Okay.
means. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for that. So I have to make sure that I remind them of that part. Absolutely.
Yeah. Biggie Smiles. The notorious Biggie Smiles. You good? Yeah.
All right.
Congratulations
well, thank you
again.
You guys are doing an excellent job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That was Senator Donna.
And just before I leave, I want to say that my prayers are with John Abramson. I actually miss him. I mean, you guys are doing an awesome job. The James duo, you know, but I do miss John. He's a very good friend of mine, and I miss him, and I wish him well, and my prayers and my family's prayers are with him at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I will make sure that he gets that message from you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We also have Athniel Bobby Thomas. He's available as well. Also a winner. I think he finished in second place, right? 995 votes. Athniel Bobby Thomas, incumbent senator out of the district of St. Thomas, St. John. Bobby Thomas, congratulations, sir. Senator Thomas, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you all very much.
I'm out a few words, man.
Well, I mean, all I'm saying is congratulations. So I wanted to say thank you to that. If you continue the conversation, we can roll with it.
Well, go right ahead. Talk to your constituents.
It's your platform right now.
All right. Once again, thank you, gentlemen. I really have to thank the Almighty for really sticking with me and keeping me strong, faithful through this fight, because there's so much to be done. And if you don't have your faith secure, it's going to be hard to move forward, you know. With the Almighty behind me and the people of the Virgin Islands giving me that push and that encouragement, I really had the energy to move forward. I really want to congratulate the other candidates for stepping up, because, you know, I've been a bystander for many years, but, you know, being in the seat now, I have a brand new respect for the position and even more love for what you do when it comes to serving the community, you know. The people came out and, you know, despite the numbers were low, we have a lot of challenges in the community, and the people came out to show, well, hey, we still have to be part of this process. I really want to thank them for that. I want to really thank the voters for giving me this confidence here, because there's so much work left to be done. I mean, I really want to get back into the trenches and start digging even harder now, because, you know, the fight is there. You have to work with everyone. You have to work with the testifiers, and our responsibility is digging, finding, looking to see how we could help them to help the people of the Virgin Islands. Overall, we just really want to give everybody a better quality of life here, and I fight it tooth and nail to make sure we do that. I also want to thank my family for sticking with me. You come home grumbling because you want to find that answer. You want to be the one that find a solution to the problem that could make life better. And you know, your family is there and they encourage you and they put you in check when you start to go crazy. So without that family support, there's nothing. And absolutely, without the campaign supporters, the power pack, I am nothing. And I really want to thank them for really sticking with me and digging me through these, digging in the dirt with me as we fight to do the people's work here.
Well, Bobby, I want to commend you for past 19 months you've been working. I know it's been tough. You know, a freshman senator is not easy. And you have a little ways to go before the general election. Are you prepared mentally tonight to say anything about moving forward, or are you going to wait a couple of days before you come out swinging again?
I'm going to tell you what, right now tonight, I'm going to tell you the work has to continue. You have to fight harder. This basically getting to this point is them telling you, okay, let's see how hard you're really willing to work now. And I'm really willing to put it all in. So if the people of the Virgin Islands are charging you with moving forward, they say, hey, this is a responsibility we are putting in your hands. I am not backing away. I'm grabbing it. And I'm going to do whatever they want me to do, whatever it takes to improve the quality of life here. I'm ready to roll.
Well, Bobby, congratulations on a job well done tonight. You finished very well. We're looking forward to hearing from you within the next few months.
Thank you very much. And before I go,
yeah, go ahead.
Before I go, I omitted to thank my staff, the one that has to really keep me in check. Although they don't want me drinking no coffee, we're gonna work on that. But they really keep me in check, and they behind me 110%. And ain't nothing like walking into the office and seeing people that believe in the work we have to do for the people of the Virgin Islands, and they all in it too. So really want to thank my staff for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to tell you something, Bobby. As you can see, I'm rocking an afro, and I see them grays on the side of your head there. You check. No, that legislature job, you could sit. You could sit with me. I watching you, you know. Like the other side over there, you know. I watching you, you know. I could see the grays. So just let you know. Embrace them. Don't run from them.
This is the thing, right? I say it all the time. I come from a long line of silver-haired, handsome men. But they leave me no handsome. So they leave me the silver hair, I go take it. I go run with it.
All right. Congratulations, and looking forward to seeing you on the trail between now and November for the general election. Senator Bobby Thomas out of St. Thomas, St. John.
Have a good night, Bobby.
Thank you
Have a good night.
very much, and
Congratulations.
thank the team at WTJX. They're doing an awesome job as usual. So I just want to make sure you thank them for the great coverage they're providing as well.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
And now we're going over to Senator Kurt Viale. He's ready for it. The top vote getter in the District of St. Croix with 1,194 votes. Senator Kurt Viale.
Good evening. Good evening.
Mr. Leader, vote getter, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm right outside. I was looking at you guys bantering back and forth and listening to the political
Yeah,
discourse.
how we can hear you? Yeah, because we're hearing that good.
Okay, can you hear me better
Okay,
now?
good. Yeah, go ahead.
Good.
Yeah, I said I was looking at you guys with the political discourse and the bantering back and forth, and I'm really laughing at the analysis. But you guys are doing a good job.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you very much. Thank you, and congratulations on a well planned out campaign, a well planned out election this evening. We know we got November coming up, and I know you got some other things up your sleeves, I should say, to prepare for the next election. But it's going to be some difficult times within the next few months, and then moving forward within the next 2 years. How do you prepare for your campaign at the same time thinking about what's going on with this economy and with this recession that we're about to go into?
It's been pretty difficult because, as you know, we're in budget season, and I've been trying to meet with all the various departments and agencies to come up with a balanced budget. We are compromised when it comes to revenue collection. We're down about $130 million. So we're going to have to be very, very creative in terms of how we are able to come up with a balanced budget. In the interim, you still have to campaign, but we have a responsibility, and I have a responsibility as the chair of the finance committee that I need to make sure that that while I campaign, that I'm also doing the work for the people of the Virgin Islands. So I'm going to make sure that I am able to complete the process. I'm hoping that we have some wins in the short future. I'm hoping that Judge Gomez is going to rule on the excise tax case. I'm hoping that we're going to see a return of the economy, especially in St. Thomas, which is a tourist-based economy. We have had quite a issues in the last couple of months, but we're a resilient people, and I think we're going to be able to overcome the issues that we have.
No, I don't really want to get into correcting you because tonight is your night, but we want Judge Malloy to rule on the matter that Judge Gomez dealt with the excise taxes, not for Judge Gomez to rule. like you just said.
Oh yes, it's Judge.
Right? But here, I got some good news for you.
He just recently ruled.
You know how the numbers is, right? Senator Vielle, I want you to know, based on the numbers that we have gotten, right? You are looking at getting over 70% of the Democratic vote in this particular primary. Congratulations, that's a big number. And you and Senator Donna Fred Gregory, have had resounding turnouts, in addition to Senator Novel Francis, with the support here on St. Croix and St. Thomas, respectively, from a numerical standpoint.
I want to really thank the people of St. Croix. The support has been overwhelming. I want to thank my campaign team, who is consistently there with me. They're in the trenches. I have the same team that I started with 6 years ago, and they work very, very hard. I want to thank God for giving me the strength. As a former senator, you know that serving in the institution is not the easiest thing. So there's a lot of work that you always have to do. For the people of St. Croix to give me the type of support that they gave me today, I am just humble. Every time that I win for the Senate, I am humble, very, very humble by the support of the people of the Virgin Islands and the people of St. Croix. And they went out big for me today. So I'm very appreciative of their support. And I'm going to continue to work hard. I'm going to continue to campaign hard as we move towards November. And I know that eventually we're going to be victorious come November. But there's a lot of work to do in the Virgin Islands. We have a lot of work. We have the most difficult times that we have ever had in the history of the Virgin Islands with this pandemic, because the pandemic is not local, it's global. It's not even national. It's affecting every single jurisdiction that we have. So I am sitting and trying to be as creative as possible as to the path moving forward, how we're going to be able to make sure that the government of the Virgin Islands remain solvent. That's the biggest thing. We want to make sure that we remain solvent, that we're able to meet payroll. We want to make sure that we're able to pay our retirement employer contribution and employee contribution. We want to make sure that we're able to pay the health insurance. And as we do that, we want to make sure that we slowly grow the economy. And I know, Neville, you're a numbers guy, and the month of June on the island of St. Croix collected more gross receipts than St. Thomas. So we have not felt the hit as much in St. Croix as in St. Thomas. And we're going to have to do some work to get the St. Thomas economy back up and running.
Well, Senator, thank you very much for that information. I'm actually working GRS, because I'm a retiree. So I want you to know that. But congratulations. It looks like you've lost your voice. So we're going to ask you no more questions. We're going to let you go so you get some rest so you can begin to start the campaign function again tomorrow. Again, congratulations. You deserve every vote you've received, 1,194 votes. Them as votes.
Okay, yeah, we're also trying to get the chairman of the board of the elections.
Before we do that, we have
we got people here distracting us now.
No, tell about the distraction,
that, right?
That's beautiful.
Coming here and distracting us.
But
so we gotta be focused here, and they come and distract us.
We have Jonathan Tucker here with us.
Jonathan Tucker's on the line as well.
Jonathan's on the line also.
He's a winner. Jonathan Tucker, congratulations.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you to the voters. Thank you to the people of the Virgin Islands. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Very excited, very humbled by this win. Very encouraged and looking forward to the next step. We got a lot of work to do. We're looking forward to it. It's a great day for this campaign. My team worked very hard. They're still here with me now. So, we're excited about the opportunity to move forward out of the primary and get into the general election and show the people of the Virgin Islands what they've been asking for.
The virtual campaign.
Yeah, They've been asking for it, and we are planning to deliver it. So thank you to
Okay,
the people
now,
of the VI.
now the virtual campaign nature of the 2020 election cycle. Talk about how you wanted to reach out to people because you're running as a challenger and you don't really have the profile like incumbents do because they're going through the budget process right now and they get to be seen on a regular basis. What's it like as a challenger to overcome that, disadvantage from a profile standpoint?
Well, as you know, I have the experience of being the territorial director for the Michael Bloomberg campaign in the Virgin Islands. And there is a science to this. And I had the opportunity to look at their playbook in terms of their campaign. There are three parts that we need to pay attention to. And one of the big parts is presence. One of the things that we did differently this time around to meet that presence threshold is we invested in a 26-foot box truck and we put a 26 by 7-foot sign on that box truck and we drove it all around the island and parked it in strategic areas to let the people.
That's innovative on your part, and we just wish you well. You got another 3 months between now and November 3rd. So let's hope that everything goes well for you and all of the other candidates who are a part of the election cycle going into the general election. And Jonathan Tucker, he ran in 2018 as well. So and he's
congratulations.
number 7 now, and keep in mind that where you finish now, you're not written off because Marvin Bladen has proven that you could finish 7th in a primary and win.
Right. And the race,
Weber one time finished 6th in a primary and won.
and the race starts over again. This is you're starting from scratch right now
with new candidates.
With new candidates.
Yeah, so I look.
Congratulations.
We have somebody else there. We have Carla Joseph.
We have South
is also there as well. Carla Joseph, congratulations. Good night.
A pleasant good evening, gentlemen, and definitely a pleasant good evening to all of our people in the beautiful Virgin Islands. I'm so thankful to all of the voters who braved our coronavirus, who came out and voted and supported me. I am especially thankful to Almighty God for granting me this opportunity, as well as our campaign team. I have wonderful campaign members. We are multi-generational and we did a really awesome job coming out. I'm looking forward to working even harder for our people going into the general election. And I am hopeful that our people would see that based on my track record, all that I have done to serve and in servitude for our people. So I'm definitely a grateful servant this evening.
Well, Carla, I want to congratulate you. Finishing 4th in the primary election. It was a tough race. You had 11 candidates over there, and you were able to tough out a solid 4th. Would put you in a good standing for moving forward. Now, of course, you're starting over as of tomorrow because there are other candidates that's coming in that did not run in the primary. Are you prepared? And how excited are you about your victory this evening and looking forward to a victory in November?
Well, this isn't my first go around at running for the senatorial seat in the St. Thomas, St. John district. In fact, this is my second time. So I know things are usually sweeter the second time around. So
I like that.
And revving, and we are opening our arms to expand to others. If you want to join Team Joseph Action Committee, I'm also working on a mini project, and I broadcasted on several radio stations for our seniors who are recipients of Social Security benefits and they need assistance with getting their stimulus check. Please kindly give me a call, Monday preferably, at 340-344-9075. I'm working with a gentleman at IRB. His name is Mr. Roosevelt Davis, not to be confused with former Senator Roosevelt St. C. David, and he is an awesome worker. We have some terrific, awesome, hardworking people in our government, and Mr. Roosevelt Davis is one of those persons. So I really want to thank again our voters, the committee, also our election system, staff members, the election board. It was just an awesome, fantastic day. I have a really great campaign manager, Angel Wangi Turnbull, and a co-campaign manager, Dexter Freeman. I am very grateful. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Carla
Senator.
Joseph. Good luck
you.
and hard work between now and November to complete the deal.
We're ready for it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We got incumbent Senator Kenneth Gittens on the line on the virtual hookup. You know,
Go
Senator
ahead.
Gittens, good night. Congratulations.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good,
Talk
good,
to you
good.
people.
I just want to say thank you to the Almighty and thank you to the people of St. Croix for your vote of confidence. I know that there's a lot of work ahead, so we got to press hard going forward. As you stated, I've been working real hard on some measures in the legislature, and I think that I got a bit caught up and didn't campaign hard enough. But I'll be able to balance the two for sure, and we got some work to do, and I intend to pound the pavement going forward. And I'm pretty sure that as I'm able to get some of those measures out of legal counsel, the people of the Virgin Islands will realize how hard that I'm working, and we'll be able to push forward on this. So again, I just want to thank the people of the Virgin Islands, the people of St. Croix specifically. And I say the people of the Virgin Islands because I even thank those who have sent their prayers, and I'm humbled by their vote of confidence.
Thank you very much, Senator Gittens. And of course, you have between now and the November general election to pound that pavement like you said you intend to do. It's hard given the COVID-19 conditions we're dealing with.
Indeed.
But, you know, you'll overcome and give it your best effort. So congratulations on the win tonight because you're successful tonight. That's the most important
Well,
thing.
not only that, Senator Gittens is very creative when it comes to campaigning. He comes up with all kinds of novel ideas when it comes to campaigning. So we're looking forward to see what you're going to come up with this year, Kenny.
And I really held back, I must say, because of COVID. But as you guys know, you can't take anything for granted. And again, whenever I run a race for the Senate, I run just to get a seat in the Senate. I am not about having to run at the highest number one or number two. I don't run for position. As long as I can come within the 7, I am grateful for that because my work will speak for itself. And I do intend to continue the hard work moving forward.
Thank you very much and congratulations once again, Senator.
Thank you all again.
All right,
good.
He's taking over the Stedman Hodge. Go ahead, Sted.
Stedman Hodge, Senator Stedman Hodge Jr. out of St. Thomas. Congratulations, Senator.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really have to thank God first and my prayer warrior, which is my mom, for definitely supporting me, and all of my constituents for their vote of confidence as well. And I also want to offer congratulations to all of the candidates in both districts, the district of St. Thomas and St. John, and also that of St. Croix. So congratulations.
Well, you did a great job as usual. Sam, it's your second time around coming back here, and you did very well. And we're looking forward to see what you're going to come up with between now and November, because the people are listening, and the people are concerned, and also they're kind of scared. So, you know you work hard. You said it. People see your performance on the Senate floor. Just congratulations again, and keep up the good work.
Well, thank you very much, and I really appreciate it. I know today some folks may say that they didn't see us at the polls. I was actually on National Guard duty today. I'm actually on annual training, but I really prefer to maintain a social distance for my staff as well, and for my campaign workers. But we'll be ready to rock and roll in November and continue to work that the people of Virgin Islands really want us to perform as elected officials here in the territory. So once again, I thank you, and I thank you for actually having me, and thanks to everyone that gave me that vote of confidence. Thank you.
Not a problem. Have a fantastic evening.
Congratulations, Senator Hodge Jr. out of St. Thomas.
All right, thanks.
Okay, good. We got the incumbent senator from St. Croix, Senator Oakland Benta. Congratulations, Senator.
Good night, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you. I want to say thank you to those individuals that came out really, as far as the COVID-19, we know it's an issue, but they came out. And of course, in looking forward as far as where we're going, I was anticipating that there was some funding that was supposed to have been here for WAPA, but within the next 3 weeks, we should see a difference with that. And I heard some of the discussion with the utility side of it. But I want to say wholeheartedly thank you to those individuals who stood fast, moving from the 7th place to the 5th. And I know we have the journey to contend with. But I want to ask the citizens to hold strain, remain positive, that there are individuals and great individuals of whom they have selected, even to tonight, that are looking forward to taking care of the vaccine issues in this territory and moving us along very swiftly. And the surprising news is that we've just appropriated secured funding for WAPA for at least $1.1 billion. And that's something that is being completed as we speak right now. So I do look forward to doing the announcement later on, and so that our people can realize that there is some relief coming. And thanking my colleagues for working with me, believing that these funds were real to take care of this vaccine issue. It didn't come before the election, but it will definitely be within the next 3 weeks. And thank you for having me this evening, gentlemen.
Thank you, Senator Benta, and congratulations to you, your family, and your campaign committee.
Thank you very much.
And your supporters.
And my supporters, exactly. Thank you.
Okay, good. That's Oakland Benta. He's a freshman senator in the district of St. Croix, successfully passed the nominating process that is the primary election 2020 Democratic primary election. So we've spoken to a number of
We
winners.
have somebody else, I understand.
We have somebody else? Nobody
Okay,
else right now.
well, we're good right now,
So,
yeah,
so we've spoken to a number of winners tonight.
Yeah,
That's
but,
it.
yeah, but we're ready to go home.
Yeah, we are ready to go home, but Channel 12 is big.
Large.
WTJX big. And there was something else I want to touch on that we haven't touched on. You know, people can, they can take shots at the Democratic Party, right? But the brand has value, that's it. 13 out of 15, or no? You know what I mean? Percentage-wise, 86.667% of the legislature are registered Democrats. And Janelle Saru was a young Democrat in college.
Right.
You check what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
So, it has brand, and they want us to go over the numbers again.
But
They put up the numbers there.
okay, well, it's
You go through them?
in the St. Thomas St. John district for the senatorial standings. First is down to Fred Gregory with 1,249. Athniel Bobby Thomas with 995. Milton E. Potter with 970. Carla Joseph, 956. Stedman Hodge, 945. Marvin Blyden, 858. Jonathan P. Tucker Jr., 696.
That's the cutoff point.
That's
right
the
there.
number,
That's
and
seven,
that's the top 7. Yeah.
And we got Gene Ford at 599. Like I said, he's 97 votes out, and that's going to be a lot to overcome, given the number of absentee ballots to be counted and the percentage of which he has to get
Right. Very
to
difficult.
overcome at 97.
Yeah. Very difficult.
Okay, so now we're going to get the St. Croix numbers. And like I said, the exacta, the 2014 and 2016 exacta is back in 2020. Kurt Vialet, 1,194. Novell E. Francis Jr., 1,097. Allison L. DeGazan, 892. Genevieve Whitaker, running as a Democrat for the first time, 877. Oakland Benta, 853. Javon E. James, 851. Just 2 votes separating 5 and 6. And Kenneth L. Kenny Gittins at 799, rounding out the top 7. Troy Williams and Andrew John were not successful as of the numbers that we have right now.
Okay, so that we can continue with the interviews with our candidates. We have candidate Milton Potter, who did very well in the primary. Mr. Potter, how are you doing this night?
Hey, good evening, gentlemen. I'm doing well. Thanks.
We can see that. You look kind of relaxed.
Check this. check this out, right? Check this out, right? I'm gonna give you some advice. Give thanks to the maker, your family, your supporters, and the voters. Go right ahead.
Thanks for that, man. Thanks for that. I know you have experience in that regard, but definitely, Senator, I could not have done this without the hard work of my team, my family, my supporters, You know, this is my first time putting my hat in the ring, and we have a real good team, a good mix of millennials and more senior, seasoned folks. So I mean, we could not have done it without them. So I want to thank them. I want to thank the Almighty for at least making it out of this round. And we just want to caution: we're not gonna get too high, too excited about this, because this is only round one. We are going to roll up our sleeve. We might take tomorrow off, but Monday morning we're going to be pounding the pavement because we're going to strive hard to make it to the big dance, which is November 3rd. Well, we've made it there to the big dance, but we're going to really roll up our sleeves, continue to pound the pavement to make sure that we are there come November 3rd, that we're successful.
Well, I can guarantee you that you ain't taking tomorrow off. You may want to take tomorrow off, but you're gonna get phone calls as you get home this evening. Then you know that get up for tomorrow. So, but you did a great job. You did a great job, and it's always refreshing to see new faces, especially in the Democratic primaries. And how you came out, and you came out strong. Again, your supporters did a tremendous job. Your workers, all your campaign employees or campaign workers, I should say, did a great job. So looking forward to hearing from you. Looking forward to hear what you got to say within the next few months. And good luck in the general election.
Hey, I sincerely appreciate it. Definitely. We are going to strive. We're going to work hard. We're not taking anything for granted. And I look forward to really working hard to make a difference in the lives of the regular people of the U.S. Virgin Islands. We have a lot of problems all converging at the same time. Big problems. So running for office really isn't for the faint at heart right now, considering the magnitude of the problems that we have. But these problems are not insurmountable. And I'm convinced that working together, we can accomplish great things for the territory of the Virgin Islands. And I intend to be a part of that process. So I thank you.
Well, I know that I know that you're on the right track, because word got back to me that you reached out to the station because you wanted to hear an interview that I had with Mr. Nellan Bowery from the GRS.
Yes.
So I know you're listening to analyze this.
Yes.
So I knew that once you were doing that, you were on the right track, and it showed tonight. And I wish you well. We wish you well, and the St. Thomas St. John voters will speak to representation from the St. Thomas St. John district in the 34th legislature between now and November the 3rd, because there's an early voting period as well.
Yes.
And my suggestion to you is take tomorrow off. You're gonna need to take it off because you got to decompress, recalibrate, because I know you're gonna hit the ground again running come Monday morning.
Monday morning, bright and early.
All right, again, congratulations. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy victory.
Good. We got Genevieve Whitaker.
To my campaign manager.
Yeah, we got Genevieve Whitaker
Cosmic Christian.
on the virtual hookup. She's talking already? Oh no. She's oh, he was still talking?
He was still talking, yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. I thought we had cut him off. That's my fault. I apologize. We'll make it up to you. Definitely. Ms. Whitaker, congratulations. Primary election.
Thank you so
2020.
much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Senators. And good evening to both of you. Good evening.
Talk to your listeners. Thank God and all them good things, man.
She's acting a bit
She's blushing.
overwhelmed. But go ahead and speak.
Well, I want to first off, once again, thank all the voters who came out and supported me today. And behind me, I have an incredible team. It was just a outpouring of support. We spent the last 2 weeks actually canvassed. I know one of the comments was made earlier, but we actually have been hitting the ground pretty heavy in the last few weeks in terms of door to door within the COVID conditions. It was just a great. It was a really exciting day today. We're out really strong on the polls, and it was an exciting night. So I'm really happy with the results, and we're all very happy.
Now, you ran as an independent in 2018. You finished 8th in the general election. What went into your decision to go the Democratic route in 2020?
Well, it's actually a return to the party, as I think both of you know. Good evening to you, Dotson. That my return to the party really was large in part I distanced myself for a few years and just returned to the party. And so my decision had a lot to do with my passion and interest in helping to reform the party, but also my interest is also our connection to, on a national basis, of benefit to us as Virgin Islanders in terms of the different issues we face on the in terms of our federal relations.
And you finished 15 votes behind Senator Alison De Gazan and a strong fourth tonight. So we definitely want to commend you and your committee.
Well, not only that, Neville and Genevieve, you were seventh after the early voting, and you jumped from seventh to fourth, and very, very close to third. So it's clear that the numbers in the early voting did not really match those of the actual voting today. So congratulations on that, and you seem to be getting your message out to the people of this of the district. So congratulations, and we look forward to hear what you have to say within the next few months.
Thank you so much. Thank you both of you. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you WTJX for once again an incredible job in the election system of the Virgin Islands Board of Elections. A great job this evening.
All right,
thank you very much, Ms. Whitaker. Keep on working hard.
Thank you. Good evening.
You got it.
Well, Neville, we got our hands full. I mean,
yeah, man.
Me know about you, nobody hungry though.
But they got our food ready. Matter of fact, they offer us food earlier. They were bringing the food at that particular time.
And we get cute.
Yeah, we get cute and tell them.
No, not now.
I know they want them kikini. But it's okay. It's okay.
We at work, man. The bottom line is that we have a job to do, and our job is to make sure that we bring the information.
Yeah, and the people I could tell from the text messages that the people are tuned in, and they appreciate the analytical and respectful, because that's what we're into. We're not here to tell people how to vote, what to do, and all that stuff.
Nothing to do with that at all.
We just want to let people know that the process is inalienable and it's a right, and take full advantage of it when opportunity presents itself. And I'm gonna promise you, I believe turnout is going to be tremendous in November.
Yeah, because
I think so.
There's a lot going on.
Yes. Don't let us 12% tonight.
Right.
Fool you.
And we have guess what? We have Churchill. She's back.
Oh, Churchill is back?
Hi, Churchill.
Go right ahead.
Alrighty, so the numbers again, we have Donna Fred Gregory at 1,249. We have at Neil Bobby Thomas at 995. We have Milton E. Potter, 970. Carla Joseph, 956. Stedman Hodge Jr., 945. Marvin Blyden, 858. And Jonathan P. Tucker Jr. rounding off number 7 with 696.
Fantastic job. We've spoken to just about everybody from the District of St. Thomas, and they're all excited. They're tired. They're ready to go home. They're going to take some of them. Going to take the day off tomorrow. Yeah, and I tell them, yeah, right, that would never happen. So have you've been watching? How do you see how the candidates have spoken tonight, and do you think there's hope for us with this set of candidates?
Well, I definitely always believe that there is hope. My biggest thing is I just really hope that more people register to vote and are able to show up and make sure that their voices are heard. Too many times we hear a lot of complaints about some of the issues, but to not vote is to be okay with how things are going. So if we're really discouraged, if we're really upset, if we're really not in agreement with how things are, it's our responsibility to get out and vote. However, it does seem that many of the candidates are very excited, they're really energized, and they're ready to work for the people. And I'm really hoping that we hold them accountable, because that is our job as the electorate. So, we go out there, it's not over. Now we have the rest of the candidates on November 3rd that we have to make sure that we really speak our mind and show what we want through our votes. So I hope everyone is ready to gear up and get back out there on November 3rd.
I hope so too. I know it's going to be a very interesting campaign moving forward, because you have to be very creative, especially what we're going on with COVID-19. It's not about touching flesh. It's not about knocking on doors. It's about doing what we're doing tonight. We have done every one of our interviews virtually. So I'm sure people are going to have to find a way to get their message across, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, whether it's, everything like that. So, we're going to be all right. But I want to thank you, because you've done a wonderful job here this evening also. Great job. As a matter of fact, yeah. So as a matter of fact, I don't know if I'm going to be here in November, if they're going to bring me back. But if I am here and you're here, it's going to be another pleasure working with you. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. And I enjoy working with you as well, Ms. Prentice. Awesome job.
Definitely. You guys are great commentators.
Thank you very much.
And we're
Thank
still
you.
we're still looking for the chairman of
Is chairman of the board available?
the chairman of the board,
Is he in the board of
Raymond,
elections?
Raymond Williams.
I don't think so at this time.
Okay. Not a problem.
Oh, okay. I guess
Thank you.
no problem. Yeah, we're still on the job.
We're still on the job, man. Somebody
Yeah.
got to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Somebody got to do it.
Okay. Good night, Churchill. Take care.
Have a wonderful evening, guys. Take care.
You too.
Okay,
bye-bye.
thank you, Ms. Prentice. Awesome stuff. So that's in the primary. 2020 has come and it's gone for the most part.
Basically, I mean,
one final nugget with the absentee ballots.
the
and all that
absentee
stuff.
ballots is not going to make much of a difference.
No, I don't see it.
But they have to be counted.
Yeah.
Because every vote must be counted.
Congratulations to all who offered themselves, and even more so to the winners, because we don't want those who weren't successful to think that they don't have something to offer. It just wasn't meant to be on primary night or for the primary election, 2020. But the
Right.
contributions that you want to make to the Virgin Islands does not have to be via an elected position.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People
You don't
believe
have
that
to be. No, you don't have to.
everything
Exactly.
is about
as
a
a matter
title.
of fact, I think you can probably get more done not being elected, and be on the sideline, just being an advisor.
Yes.
You know, you
Yeah.
can get more done.
Both of us are living proof of that.
Yeah, you can get more done that way, and other than being in those positions, because you have too much pressure on you, and you have to make sure that you're politically correct in
Correct.
everything
Yeah,
you're
man.
saying and
Yo,
all that.
yo,
'Cause
that
I
weighs
don't have
on
to be
you.
politically correct about nothing at all. Okay, I say what I have to say, and I move out, and I move
need a
on.
haircut. You know why? Because I'm not being politically correct.
Well,
You know
okay,
what
so
I'm
that's
saying?
what I'm saying. Yeah, so-
no. The point that I'm making, I'm just embellishing what you're saying is
right.
there's something about your freedom that has value.
Yeah.
And once you've committed, you better commit in full. You know what I'm
Exactly,
saying?
exactly.
Because it shows up. For example, one of my problems when I first ran was, because I was very successful in 2004, and they would say, "Man, we don't see you." And I'm saying, "Look, I like to research. I'm in the business of analyzing and all that stuff. People don't want to hear that.
No, you
they
can't.
want to touch you. They want to see you.
You want
You
you
know,
to
so
the
if I was giving
ballpark.
advice, I would tell them, look, whatever you do, even if you're into the research and analytical approach, like certain senators may be or what have you, gotta get out there and make contact with the public. They're not even some of them not even asking for anything. They just want to see you and know that they could talk to you.
They want to
Like
have
you
an
said.
opportunity. They want to have an opportunity to talk. That's all. People want to be heard. I voted, and this goes back to the fact where some folks say, "Well, I don't vote because they don't do nothing anyway." That's not the attitude to take. The attitude to take, in order for you to make a difference, you need to vote. That way, it's not. I'm not saying that you don't have a say in what's going on if you don't vote, but you need to. But you need to get out there, and you need to make sure that you exercise your right to vote, even if you go into the
Yes, sir.
and vote no
The
vote,
vote.
which is I mean against everybody. You don't
You
want to
par-
vote for
you
nobody.
participated.
At least you participated in the process.
That's the key. So I
You
think
know?
we bringing this to a close. Let me see where we at. 10:20. We got how much more longer we got? We got 10 minutes. Need some more wrap. Okay, 10 minutes.
That 10 minutes long is a long time. Or no?
Well, check this out, right? We need the cameraman to come back to the camera because we need you to pan on something. Pan on these two things, yeah. Because we want the public to know, right? We want the public to know that the election system has taken care of us. You know what I'm saying? And they are.
Even though that disturbs Raymond Williams highly.
He don't go get over it. And the microwave gonna talk for it in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But that's where we at. But I've been saying this on my radio show. That's it. Okay, I think we got Javon James available tonight. He ran sixth in the primary. Yeah, 6 with 851 votes, like a virtual tie for 5th, because he's only 2 votes behind Oakland Benta. Senator Javon James, congratulations. Good night.
Good night, good night, good night.
Good night, Senator.
Good night. How you doing? How you doing?
Good,
We're
good.
good.
We want to hear how you doing and how you feel about today's primary and what are your plans moving forward.
It's a very humbling experience, and I'm thankful for the people of Virgin Islands for giving me an opportunity to make it past the primary election and go on to the general election. So it's a very humbling experience. I want to thank the people of St. Croix, man.
Fantastic. It's been a long day. Your creativity moving forward in light of the fact that we're dealing with COVID-19 and other issues is going to come into play for the general election. I'm sure you've been working on some creative ways so to get your message across to the voters, because it's going to be very difficult, and you're not in a position by yourself. Everybody's in the same position.
Most definitely, most definitely. And like I said, with this COVID-19 situation, it kind of changed the way how we do things as far as individuals coming out to vote. I know individuals are probably concerned, and we couldn't really campaign like how we used to, but I'm still thankful that the people of the U.S. Virgin Islands gave me an opportunity to go past to the general election.
I know that you have some. You said you have some meaningful legislation that's been sitting in the hopper for some time. You think you'll be getting those legislation out before November?
Well, the good thing about it is I've passed many bills. I have 5 pieces of legislation and counting that is now law. I've passed the law which speaks to negligent homicide by means of motor vehicles to hold individuals who continue to drive in a reckless manner accountable. I've been cracking down on legislation.
Have we lost Javon James? For some reason, it appears that we have lost contact. But we have Senator Marvin Bladen, the majority leader. He's also available. Senator Bladen, good night. How are you? Senator Bladen? We got you.
Wait, Javon, don't go nowhere. We're going to get back to you. Don't go anywhere. We lost you. We lost you a minute ago.
Yeah, Senator Bladen, good night. Congratulations. How are you? It appears that he doesn't know that he's on.
Can we go back to Javon? Let's go back. Javon, are you there?
Senator James?
James.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead and finish up. We lost you for a minute.
Sorry about that.
Yes, man. Like I said, we're trying to do this whole electronic virtual stuff. But like I said, I have a lot of legislation that is now law. I have one that speaks to the annual agricultural conference that mandates that the Department of Tourism and the Department of Agriculture shall come together to hold a big annual agricultural conference where we can have individuals from all over the Eastern Caribbean, all over the world to come to the U.S. Virgin Islands in the form of agri-tourism, where we can have a meeting of the minds and move agriculture forward in a territory that is now law. I also have the legislation which speaks to ending child marriage in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Before I had the legislation, a child as young as 14, a female as young as 14, and a male as young as 16 years old could basically be married in the territory, and I basically end that and put it at the age of 18. I also have a legislation which speaks to cracking down and selling and serving liquor to minors and focusing on how individuals enter an establishment when it comes to selling or serving alcoholic beverages, so we can mandate that the individuals show their identification before coming into the club and being served. And I have
Thank you. Thank you, Senator James. We're closing down at the bottom of the hour. We got Senator Bladen and excellent. West One, wish you luck. We know you got another hard work, 3 months, and hopefully be successful on November the 3rd to get elected to the 34th legislature.
Thank you, and thank you to WTJX for the opportunity. And once again, thank you to the people of St. Croix. It's a very humbling experience, and we will continue to push all the way past the finishing line. Thank you once again.
All right,
Thank you, Senator.
Have a good
Appreciate
night.
it.
Yes.
You got it. Senator Marvin Bladen, out of St. Thomas, the majority leader. Good night. Congratulations. Senator Bladen, can you hear us? For some reason, this isn't working with the connection. Senator Bladen.
Probably on his end.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's been a great evening. We want to thank Cheryl and St. Thomas, Ms. Cheryl Prentice,
definitely
for a fantastic job that she did, and again, it's a pleasure working with you also, Neville. So I think this is the first time we've ever worked together.
Yeah, I was saying I come here today, so because I've been at TJX since 2000. When I was it's like 1,000, like Uncle Luz, 2000, right?
Yeah.
But when I was replacing Emmett Hansen when he hosted topics, and I did some fill in there.
Oh, okay.
And you've been doing the parades and all that
From
stuff.
2003.
I've been doing everything, and we never worked together.
Yeah.
But COVID-19 brought us together. You know what I'm saying?
COVID-19. That's
so
amazing.
I'm grateful, and like I told we had Lisa Moeda later. Then I told her he's Frank, and I'm Jesse, only because of age. Because we're not bad. We're not bad. He's the elderly. He's the older one.
I'd like to thank everyone out there who took the time to go out and vote. From all of us here at WTJX, I'm Dotson James, hungry. I'm going home.
And I'm Neville James. I'm hungry. But before I go, I want to give the WTJX staff the royal props that they deserve, because they hooked us up here, set us up good, and they do it every day for me. Weekdays. Now I got a Saturday night gig You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad I was here with my brother. We're good. And but we're gonna eat now, no, cause the microwave gonna talk to this here big brother. And you gotta think, bring that sanitizer there, man. Let me let me get some before the show done.
Okay. The WTJX thing there. I keep in that tonight, okay?
Good night, everybody, and we'll
Good
be
night,
back
folks.
for the general election. I don't know if I'm gonna be back with, because same thing with him. You never know. But congratulations to the winners and all themselves who offered themselves to be a part of the electoral process here in the United States, Virgin Islands, the American paradise that we've always known it to be. It is, and it always will be.
Good night.